TikTok, my favorite, my absolute favorite. So, hello, I'm super sick and unfortunately leaving now to sleep. Sleep well, Cherry. Liz, Cherry says hi. She says hi back. Auto bleep is now enabled. We notice that creators can sometimes be penalized for words that may not align with our community guidelines. To help protect your live, auto bleep is now on, automatically censoring sensitive words. TikTok finally made a good fucking change. Holy shit, I might actually, like, blow my load. They started giving me push notifications through Windows for some chats that were sent through TikTok. Just a chat message now pops up on my screen over, like, my full screen game. Like, shit, like through Windows notifications. I open Live Studio, they hit me with 10, 11 notifications spamming me about making shorts out of my lives. Yeah, bro, let me take Live's AI-generated highlights and then just post them. Yeah, let me put out 10 views slop. That's really good for my brand, thank you. It'll be. Audio settings. Auto bleep on. Wonderful. I ethically thirst over the internet. Jeez. Hello, Amy. Help. Okay. Let me open up Rivals. I can't believe TikTok made that change. Genuinely, like, I actually want to give them a chance now. Because, I'm going to be real. Every update they've made to Live Studio has been anti-consumer. Like, anti-streamer. It's just changes that they want to put in to incentivize you to do what they want. And finally, something useful has been added. And I'm like, oh. Program's still shit and I hate it. Okay. All right, and just YouTube. Wait, my thumbnail goes hard today? Okay. The cutest cat. Okay. Wow, Pacific Drive's good, bro. Good game. 6-7 real. The fuck is this emo? You can do a 6-7 for your French viewers who are dying of a heat wave. What is this? Pity party, bro? No? That's crazy. You finished Mouse PI? I did, Marith. Hello, Marith. Finally. Yeah, I started Pacific Drive. It's elite. Both chats are connected. Nice. Hello, YouTube. Okay. Step chat. Get him in here. Welcome back. Green's blue. Cool. All right, I haven't looked at the skins yet on stream. I don't know if I'm gonna get insta restricted, but this is like literally insane. I couldn't avoid seeing it. But Jesus, bro. Blame today? Hold on. Oh boy, here we go. Is there anything else? Was that, bro? I can't. This is crazy. Does he actually look like that, bro? He's him. I don't have the points, bro. There's no way this is in the game. What is this, bro? This. What did the jig? What did what? No. I think we're safe. This is crazy, bro. Maybe I just don't turn it. Okay. The pale color actually makes it look like it's not fair, bro. I can't, bro. Again, another color is just kind of bad. Like the green just, I don't know. Changes the hair, I guess. The accessories are always so like, who cares kind of level. Is this a... There's... Yep. This wasn't egregious. Hold on. Okay, I don't know. Like... Wait, you can change the costume color in the... This is a lot, bro. I don't even know what to say, man. They put no effort into the gun. I feel like I have to grab it. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. Give me a sec. Let me sort this out for you, chat.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm just trying to cut away for
card is out. Looks like it. Just Widow practically naked, yeah. Just a sec, guys. Got it. All right. I guess we get the bundle because the individual price seems ridiculous, no? Oh, these are on... What is this set? Where did they get in the 7,200 from? The original price of both. So they're saying that's the cost, but... Alright. Alright. Is it not weird to add even more sexualized skins? Like, there's a point, right? Oh, true. The extra stuff. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the, whatchamacallit? Hellfire Bay Beach. One Dr. Cat. Are we alright? Do you see that chat? Well done, team. Dude, the chat in game. What am I seeing here? Me. That Jeff is me. This is very, I'm in an MMO and these are the skins. Oh yeah.
I could use some aid. Here comes the merc with a bow.
Cloak and dagger. Psylocke's sword remains sharp.
You can take and send a photo and gain 100 more units? Oh, okay. Anyway. Well, Bob at the new quad acres. Who? Hello, Guthsy. How you been? Name an MMO you played. Arcade. And then I never played MMOs again. Wow. How did we... Yeah, I'm a little turtle. This is unreal, man. Where's his one? Let me guess, you can only do it on the map? What is this portrait? Yeah, put it on. Alright, dinner. How you doing, Toddy? Who's Jack Burger King and where is John Kentucky Fried Chicken? Jack Burger King is Dante. John Kentucky Fried Chicken? I don't know. Might have got banned for the 7th time this week. Dead of first.
I deliver a new kind of justice now. Divine justice.
Prefer a new kind of justice now. Naked justice. Justice is raw. I hear little bubble sounds. Yeah, yeah.
Double kill!
You've been sentenced to public humiliation.
That's 3!
Yeah, there's like subtle wave sounds and these have little bubble sounds like the quick melee. That's a shame. I really like that they recolored the effect for the grapple, right? But it's just not represented anywhere else. Like, the grapple being blue is sick. Like, and the cross and the flames don't change. Damn it, bro. That's cool. That's actually like a significant sound. You can actually hear it. Okay. The chain itself is being made blue, but the particle effects, I guess, haven't. But he also gets like a splash, like there's a water splash that comes out. Like they made an effect, I guess.
I see you. Find justice. Let the devil out.
Double kill.
Okay, I guess that's it for him. Does he have recolors? Can you tell? So nice savior. I got Matt Murdoch C. Tried opening his eyes. You're so right, bestie. Wait, hold on. Visor goes hard. ED with the towel. I like the towel, bro. Wait. You can take the fire off. Okay. No alt VFX, go figure. Alright. Let me guess. No alt VFX, we made it. Okay. These are crazy, bro. I don't know. I'll turn the flames off. I feel like all the jewelry kind of sucks. Wish I could wear your skin. Excuse what? Let the devil out. What am I supposed? Aquatic assassin.
I've done things I regret. Now I do things I can be proud of.
This might get me restricted. Has it happened to other people?
Bogies, here they come.
This is a mod. This is a mod. This.
Target neutralized.
Bro, she's naked, bro. Yeah, a little wave sound effect. The gun is like the same.
Double kill. I like to make it sting.
Oh, she gets a little music tune. I'm looking for editors. It's back. It's back. I'm looking for editors.
2 batons, 1 enemy down. Double kill. Target neutralized. That's 3.
That's it for the sound effects.
Bogies, here they come.
Oh no, they got like physics and everything. This is easily the most egregious one, bro. Like she's fully like naked. Yeah. All right, we'll talk about the flat stuff in a sec.
Plasma. First.
All right, sound. You really only start getting it after you've held your ult way too long, but okay. I'm gonna be real. I've noticed with like, it feels like the last 10 skins that had sound effects, they're all really like quiet and kind of phoned in. Like there have been some really good ones, but they're from a while ago. Rivals when your parents walks in. Like, what am I playing, man?
Widow style.
Is this a psyop?
I spy some bad guys.
Like, no one plays Widow, bro. Is this to keep the throwers busy?
Another one bites the dust.
Most revealing skin yet. This is unreal, bro. I don't know what to say, man. It's like, usually I'm making a racket. Like, this is fucking nuts. But I'm like, what do you say, bro? Like, I feel like it's... Maybe this is me not knowing how to put into words. Maybe it's too far. I think this strange skin genuinely has stupid sound effects. Wait, really? It's barking? It should never get this bad. Like this. Guys, I can see her everything, bro.
Bogies, here they come.
Take me back to the tasteful stuff, like... Meow across her bosom.
Cross your path.
This is now like... Yeah, whatever. I feel like I'm looking at a nun. Like this one, bro. This one was pretty...
Yokai and villains. They all fall by my blade. Just...
Oh, this one, bro. This was the one, bro.
If you see my brother, tell him I miss him.
Slave Layer used to be considered indecent. You mean that prude? Going to Japan tomorrow.
No contingency plans needed.
Okay, guys. I've teased it too long. All right. All right, who here has followed any of the balance drama stuff going on? It's been genuinely, like, I'm gonna be real, kind of draining just because of how much slop has already been uploaded to get through. So hours of my last 2 days has been wasted by this. But I'll give you my sort of top down. Flats made a 37-minute long video that was initially a response to a tweet by Somju, who's another streamer, talking about how he thinks they need to pause content to work on the game and fix some stuff for like a season or two. In a way, I agree. It's not that simple, but I think there's nuance there that's worth unpacking, but I don't think that's ever unpacked. Also, not really the point. Anyway, Flats goes on to say, or in general, talk about balance in a really nebulous and kind of not helpful way. And it seems very fence city and not non-specific. He kind of uses a lot of wishy-washy phrasing and talks around a lot of problems, but really sort of keeps returning to touch points. He really likes to name drop, keeping things on the casual side so he can cash in on casual players liking to hear that. But he never really unpacks it in a way that I find to be meaningful. The issue I have with Flats and a lot of his content is, in a way, this is to his credit, but he positions himself as having as much mass appeal as he can. What Flats does is he is always there. If you ask, like, what does Flats do? Like, as a streamer, what does Flats do? His brand is that he's always there. He has said himself that he has a business degree, and I watched his career from Overwatch like quite closely, and he's good at growing a content business, and that's kind of like his brand. Like, he's always there and he's always like covering something. In a way, he's quite like a news channel. Now that said, he very often speaks in a way that's kind of like for the lay person, and by that I mean a lot of the time his videos seem like they're for people who don't watch any other content. And he often cycles through phrases of just like, if you guys heard any stuff that was kind of safe but on the come up, is like, oh yeah, support mains always get dunked on by dive players, blah blah blah, that sort of flavor of stuff. Not saying either side is wrong or right or whatever. That usually gets tossed out, essentially in a way that I find is quite transparent, that can be cashed in on without really committing to a whole lot. I'm beating around the bush here. Flats comes across as the fence-sitter final boss for a lot of shit. He doesn't say a whole lot of stuff, but he does generally cover events and updates and stuff like that. And his content presence is very powerful because he's always on everything. Okay. So he made a 37 long video saying, I'm going to be real, a whole lot of a not a lot. There are a few key takeaways that a lot of it was kind of finger-wagging, naysaying, but not really providing much solutions or much depth to the discussion. It feels like a whole deflection and running interference on something deeper that could be talked about, but really he just wants to do the aggrandizement and cashing in on an emotional reaction to the stuff he's saying. He starts off saying balance is subjective, and he harps on about this for a while, and he keeps returning to it. I cannot explain to you the feeling I got when I heard him say that, and that was the start of a 37-minute video from someone with one of the largest platforms in the space, as someone who makes content almost exclusively on design and balance. This is... to posit this and have the conversation there is an effective erasure of the discussion about balance. Because really the takeaway is that anyone says whatever they want, no one agrees, and kind of what's the point in having a talk about it for the most part. He doesn't say there's no point having a talk about it, but he does use this as a springboard for essentially just naysaying opinions he doesn't like and he picks and chooses when he doesn't really display any core underlying theory he has about balance. Saying balance is subjective is just incomplete. It's the wrong framing. It's loading. It isn't objective or subjective. Balance is a process that inputs some subjective data. That's it. Player experience is subjective, and a lot of people talk about that. And I feel that, especially because the Rivals community is a bit younger, I also feel like the quality of content around this game is lower than other games I've been a part of. That, to be honest, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but people kind of don't have the vocabulary to explain a lot of what they're explaining. And to be honest, it is also the dev's job to pass out feedback. The problem for me is when people come through and grandstand about essentially having all the answers, or try to burn people out of a conversation about balance in a way that's quite hypocritical, condescending, or generally unhelpful, and just runs interference. And again, it's kind of doing the thing that I sort of hate about the Rivals community, at least, or content in this space, is that, holy shit, all the fucking stuff people do is make drama content. A big thing that happens is the setting of the player base against pro players. Not saying Light helps himself out here, but I find Light's content to be helpful in its own way. I'll explain later why, but I disagree with him on a lot. But Flats, at the end of the day, should know better, bro. He seems to me as someone who has every reason to be secure about where he is, and he goes off into the deep end in this one in a way that was like, what is bro doing? Should I go sit on the toilet and watch you? I'm at the office. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Cliff farming both sides reached zero conclusions. The thing... Yeah, anyway, he made his video. Light, who is a smaller creator who I've watched before, and I was exposed to because of the Clear Comms podcast, which I've been on before, made a response video to it. Just FYI, Light is about a 10k subscribers on YouTube channel. He made a 56-minute long response video. It was him responding to Flat. It was him reacting to Flats' video on YouTube. Anyway, for some reason, Flats then reacted to that. It's like a 2.5 hour long video, and he gets super catty and emotional. It's like, it was almost bizarre to see. And I'm not saying he doesn't make points in there that are good or anything, but it was just like, there's like it's a level of punching down I haven't seen in a while. Flats should react to you reacting to him. Think about it. True. So I'm going to go through some of it. I will speed through parts. It is too long. I've got something scripted up about the general balance is subjective conversation that I sort of want to say. If you're as secure as a human, you wouldn't need to respond. I feel like it was a bad idea for him to respond. Halfway through, I'm kind of sitting there thinking like, bro, he needs a break. He seems like he needs a break. I don't know. Like, yeah. Are you beefing with Flats? No, I'm critical of him, but that's not new. Infinite content hack, you'll just keep responding forever. I think so. Both of them broke every protocol when it's about a debate. It turned emotional and personal. The thing is that I actually, like, I kind of get that. Like, I feel like Light started hitting back when he looked at Flats' 2.5 hour response to his response. So Light was looking at layer 3 and creating layer 4 and started hitting back some hour and a bit or 2 hours in. Because Flats seemed to just, for zero, like with zero prompting, just start getting really petty. I don't think it was worth it. I think it's understandable, but I don't think it was understandable that Flats did it in the first place. He was his man, want to fight with everyone, give them a break. Not like you started the war in Iran. What the fuck? Oh, thanks, KFC, man. That was great input. Thank you. That's like the most critical of Marvel rivals. I think he tries to be sort of that position, I guess, yeah. He also speaks in a cadence that convinces people of the nothingness in his words. I thought about it, and sort of the disconnect I notice in people who, I'm going to be real, are a bit more educated in the space. Like, they've been around longer, or they consume more content, or they're better players, or they're more experienced, or blah, blah, blah. Because he positions himself for mass appeal and for very, like, casual players, right? The way he explains stuff, I feel, comes off as grating past a certain point of experience where it sounds like his bro's mansplaining absolutely everything, because he kind of is babying about a lot of topics, like, in a way that's like, he has to kind of be your only exposure and you don't know a whole lot. Like, and I don't, like, use that phrase fucking lightly or, like, all the time, but it's the vibe I get that people have of Flats when they dislike him. And it's like, he tries to talk with authority without giving much depth to anything he explains, in a way that's kind of condescending for most stuff. Like, that's it. That's really what I mean. You agree with Flats' tier list of Black Cat being in D tier? Sure. Sure, maybe C. I'd be happy with Black Hat in B to D. Like, yeah. But, like, I can just tell you right now, I'm not, like, confident exactly where she sits right now. Okay. 2.5 hours. I'm not going to do this all in one go, probably. I'll probably break and play a game or two and keep going. Also got something else I want to record. So I'm going to speed it up a bit.
I will say today because we do have that event coming up, and I probably should be we probably should be grinding. But you know what though? I've spent a lot of time in my career. I've been doing this for 6.5, almost 7 years now. The way I've always approached all of this shit is try to just do the best I can, in good faith, And if shit hits the fan, take the high road. You know, like, they talk some shit, water.
Then do it. He's, for lack of a better way to, for lack of a better term, he's pointing out that he knows better and he's not doing it.
Off a duck's back, as my dad used to say. Nah, we used to do that for years, and I feel like that did nothing but, like, get me in trouble because you're like, oh, he's doing whatever.
He doesn't have a solid explanation. Name one time. This has really been bad for you to not roll around in the mud.
Oh, he's just covering. No, I'm done with it. Lock the f in. I was noticing that this morning I woke up to a flurry of new tweets and TikToks and all this shit, and I'm like, something must have happened. And I won't lie, there was one.
Like that's new for you?
I quoted it. I deleted it after like 5 minutes because I was like, this is a bad idea. Because Rivals right now is in what I would deem its hate farm cycle. Whenever a game gets about 1.5 years, 2 years old.
Yeah, starting by poisoning the well by claiming moral high ground. Yep. Like, you will notice this as a theme, but it's never his ideas standing on their own. And to be honest, I don't think he's processed that that's kind of the logical conclusion when you're exposed to so much hate online. Because if you're a take generator, then you might have to have some takes that can stand up to scrutiny. Because if you start writhing when someone scrutinizes your takes publicly, then you may not have reached that conclusion yet. And I'm kind of seeing that.
And it starts to get a little stale. Negative content especially goes bananas. People live for the drama. They live for the hate farm. And if you watch like any TikToks that are going
4.5 hour Kingsman drama react video, by the way.
On right now about the whole Cap stuff. And like there's such a misunderstanding of like when someone says like Cap is strong, right? Cap is S tier. I mean, bro, you called for Cap nerfs. What the hell did you expect that would happen? No, I did not. I literally didn't. I said he was strong in the meta.
No one cares, bro. And why are you so pissed about it?
You are making shit up, you delusional f***s. You delusional f***s have legitimately lost.
Like, this immediately has started. I feel like bro has actually been in, like, vicious arguments on Twitter. And now he's starting a stream. It's like, Jesus, bro.
Lost your mind. And it's actually, like, almost like cult following stuff where they hype you up and they try to get you upset and whip you into a frenzy. That is legitimately what is happening. When people say a character...
I'd like everyone to be aware of any attempts to frame the entire situation as something that may be favorable to him. He framed the entire balanced conversation in a way that was insanely reductive, essentially so he can cash in on brownie points for virtue signaling that casual players like game to be fun. Like, okay, cool. Did you unpack absolutely anything? Nope. Cool, alright. Video game, by the way? Yeah, but some people don't get to see their families. It's convenient to say that until it serves him.
Character, quote unquote, is strong in the meta. That's not calling for nerfs. That's different. When you call for nerfs, you say this character is broken, this character needs nerfs. That was...
Got a fallacy bingo already? Zinky? Give it to me. Where is the fallacy bingo? I think everything he's saying should be answered with nah. Okay. With no. Zinky, where's your bingo card?
Was never said. We said he was strong. And the whole point of the tier list in
Oh, true. Ad hominem, straw man, cherry picking, psychologist, fallacy, and whataboutism. Yeah, they'll be moving goalposts too. Oh, there might be some no true Scotsmen.
General, overall, is to be a discussion. That's a whole different topic, but I basically wanted to then tell you, hey, listen, form your own opinion. Not everything is there. Have fun. Do whatever. That's not the point, though. I'm sick of this shit. Lock in. I'm sick of this shit. I woke up this morning to a bunch of dog shit, and I think I found the source. Lock in.
I think I found the source is crazy. Also, like, I'll just say it when it happens.
I told the dev.
Okay, I can already tell where this is probably going to be coming from. This is the part where people were saying, oh, they should hire more people. They should work harder. They should work more hours. No, asshole. That's not what we were saying. That was basically me saying to them, oh, you can't just say put in more hours. Oh, you can't just say, oh, you need to get more people working on the job. Because if you had 10 people in a room trying to agree on one subject, guess what? You can never get 10 people to agree on one thing.
Okay, this is where I need to say it. Guys, if you try to get 10 people in a room to agree on one subject, you can never get the 10 people in a room to agree on one thing. Sure, I guess. Can anyone explain to me what the ban system is? This is not just an analogy he uses for getting people to agree on something, because he was originally using this to say getting people to agree on balance. Or if you take a bronze player and a pro player, they're not going to agree on a single thing, blah, blah, blah. The issue with the way he's framed balance as something that's just subjective is that he has conflated it with everything to do with adjusting the design of a game in a live service game. If you get 10 people in a room and get them to define balance, you will have the same problem. Do you think the general player base knows what balance is? Or are they giving feedback on how the game feels? Because that's feedback about how the game feels, and pain points, and positive feedback. But that's just an input to the balance process. And when you start trying to offer up solutions, or this needs to happen and this needs to happen, isn't really up to you when you're not passing that through the filter of what systems are causing these frustrations.
Very rarely. Put 100 people in a room. Try to get them all to agree on one thing. Even harder. That's the problem with trying to get everybody on the same page. And balance is no different. So the point of what I was trying to say back to that, at that point, I already know exactly where it's going to be. I guarantee it. I was saying that you could not get more people on the team and the balance is going to magically be better. So the next option.
He also did an entire explanation of how a business works that was insanely reductive and completely blind to management's responsibility, but it's now a law that adding people will always slow a team down. Guys, they pretty much run a cosmetics mill. I can nearly guarantee you that more manpower in the cosmetics department would just give them more. Like, it would just be a benefit to them.
Is to then hire or is to work more hours. And I was saying they already crunch probably, and they already work a ton. So if you're going to twist that, be like, oh, we're not calling for labor camps, we just want more balance. Brother, I was responding to people that said they need to be working.
He's also circling the drain and responding to like 12 conversations in his head.
Harder. And I bet they already work hard. And you know for a fact that that was what my argument was, but it doesn't fit the narrative.
There's no narrative, by the way. Fuck me, there's so much to go over. 3 minutes 50. What he's going off about here was a cherry-picked straw man originally that he pulled, like he does this constantly, where he pulls out, ooh, where's the most insane person I saw on Twitter with 1 like that said the most insane thing about, you know, Ji-Yong versus Firing Squad for the last patch. And that's now the other side of the conversation, what I'm arguing against. And this is where the conversation's happening now. This is the balance conversation. And us over here, we're the sane people. Everyone else, they're saying shit like that on Twitter. Really? Okay, bro. He'll lecture later on about the responsibility you have with a sizable platform.
Guys, we can't have this game come out with 35 DPS, 2 supports, and 5 tanks.
Yes, we can. And this is, and you know what the worst part of this is?
No, we can't. Terrible product decision. You've seen that play out. The community hates the tank experience. The community hates the variety available in the roster. And this has played out pretty much 1-to-1. Everyone was fucking ringing the alarm bells, being like, there's not a whole lot of tank support content, right? Guang had to come out sometime after the game's launch, saying, yeah, we're turning the ship around and making more, but it's going to take about a year to start seeing the results. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the whole community was in uproar about that.
The worst part of this is right now, also, is it like F11 to get out of this? The worst part of this is going to make it look like I'm on the side of defending NetEase. And that's the worst part to be
in the balance department. More voices equals more ideas, opinions. Again, okay, now this is... Do I wait for him to like get into that where we get to the actual section of the video for that? I can't respond to absolutely everything. The comment. More voices equals more ideas / opinions. Yeah, if you're hiring someone to be a voice. Like they're not children, they're adults working in a large business with managers. As someone who has been trained in UX design, I did my uni study in game design. Guys, more ideas is part of the ideation process, and you can get shitloads of ideas from everybody. Like, more voices in that regard is good. It's up to management and the production pipeline to have a method to synthesize all of them.
In a hate farm content cycle. That's the reason why I deleted the tweet this morning responding, because I was like, oh shit, people are gonna view this as like, you're defending NetEase. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, who gives a fuck? People say like, oh, you're in the career program. No, I'm not. I go on a 1099 base-to-base contracted basis, but for every single season that we've done recently, the mid-season,
he's accidentally doing it in the midst of this rant, but he kind of does touch on everything he dives into in a maybe unflattering way throughout the video, but he's kind of touching on everything he mentions.
Sponsor every single time. If NetEase said tomorrow we don't want to sponsor him for the next Hero Showcase, guess what? I wouldn't have early access.
But again, this is kind of incomplete in him saying this. He's not partnered with the game. He also explains later he's not signed to any of the esports probably because they don't pay enough, but he still takes sponsorships from rivals. If he was a contracted creator or a partner, he'd have a content requirement, and instead he's refused that. But they want to sponsor him. So ideally, they'd want him to be a partner, and it's likely he's used them wanting that as leverage to get more favorable sponsorship deals with them.
Because I don't have it. Because I'm not part of the creator
he
program.
uses that as an example to say to try and imply he doesn't have some sort of financial ulterior motive, which I don't think is here or there, but he goes into it.
And I said that's it from day one, because there was some certain things in there that I did not like. One of my good buddies, Siegel, had a tweet about that went viral. You should go back and find it. It's from a couple years ago now.
Also revisionist history, because they addressed that as well. I signed onto the program after that was changed because the way the program was set up was predatory.
So, anyways, regardless, not the point. The point was,
with 35 DPS, 2 supports, and 5 tanks. Or no one will pick the other roles. And they're like,
show how, okay, do we know how dev processes work? A lot of these characters are made way in advance. Is it wrong to say that's not how it should be? No. However, NetEase is releasing 1 hero every season, aka every month. So 12 heroes a year. Developing 12 heroes a year is extremely difficult to do. I used to have very close ties to the Overwatch team. We used to do 3 a year, and that was already pushing it. Now they're doing 10, and guess what? We can see that the wheels are shaking a little bit because they're doing so much. But
the different development pipelines, and Blizzard shows you what they wanted to see. Most of the liaisons with creators were pretty much like big PR meetups. Like, I know he's referred to stuff before. Like, he's had, obviously at these things, he's had chats with them about stuff he's not allowed to say. Not saying that hasn't happened, but again, when he goes on to explain stuff like how NetEase works, etc., with a lot of whitewashing in a way that's quite reductive, I don't know what the point of lording this over people is.
Regardless, though, I got to learn a lot. I got to hear from the mouths of a lot of these developers how much work and effort goes into those heroes. Those heroes are much more polished. Here's the problem, though. They actually decided they were going to do 1 tank, 1 DPS, 1 support every year, just to keep everybody happy. Rivals made a mistake, and they clearly had all this stuff developed way ahead of time. That's the only way they can keep this runway as long as it is, and they did not balance it out. They went more DPS as opposed to tanks and supports. I agree, and they acknowledged that last year. You can go back and look it up. They publicly acknowledged that they wanted to release more supports and more tanks. However, though, it is hard to do that when they already have the seasons already all planned out, including battle passes, skins, sales of all those things. They have to all work in tandem, because if there's a battle pass for a future hero, let's say Thanos, right? Thanos is coming out. They can't release Thanos early because they need more tank characters coming out. Let's say, for example, he's a tank, because all of his other stuff isn't ready. And there's a future battle pass that they're making with it as well. It has to all fit in the plan.
This is true to an extent, but if it's stuff that's in relative proximity, so I would say that it's probably quite likely that they'll do stuff like they'll pull a hero 2 seasons forward, or they'll push a hero 2 seasons back in place of another. And you've seen this because some skin themes have been a couple seasons late or a couple seasons like spread out in a way that's like kind of weird. And I think that's clearly, that's probably the easiest, like simplest explanation, is that heroes have maybe been shuffled around in the pipeline in like a few months, like whichever like the adjacent seasons are.
Does their planning suck and it should include more of the other roles? Absolutely, we're still on the same page. But that's not what we were talking about. Again, this is straw man. We're now going to another direction. That's not what I said. That's not what we were talking about. We're going to a different direction just to, quote unquote, start shit.
I mean, you're arguing with stuff off the top of your head and then calling it a straw man. What are we doing?
light. They're not supports, they're strategists. They do other things besides heal. And
Okay,
they're
people are
both
running with that.
balance.
Okay, people are
That's
running
literally
with
what
that.
they said to me.
They are trying to gaslight you into thinking balance is fine.
This
Never
part.
really you think I'm listening to what Flash has to say about balance?
This to me. Alright. I get to cash in a token for armchair psychology because he's going to do some. But considering how genuinely catty he gets about this, and there's a lot of just trying to little bro him instead of just standing on his takes and having any underlying theory, which he kind of demonstrates to me he doesn't. I feel like he may have been confronted with a moment here that he may be, might be getting clowned on for 37 straight minutes by someone who might know more than him. He doesn't know yet, but he did open this entire video with balance is subjective, and he just says that because it sounds good. He has a very preliminary way of explaining it. But I think if you got him on the spot, said, what is balance? He'd start pulling nebulous things out of the air, and it'd kind of be wishy-washy in general.
Now,
if I open up the Twitter, am I going to see a lot of clips?
I will say, though,
of sitting in the practice?
there's a laundry list of stuff that is balance. Like, to be fair to anyone you did that to.
This range shooting at the bot and freaking out.
Is balance not subjective? The point I'm making is that if you ask 10 people in a room what is balance, you'd get the same answer as if you got 10 people in a room and tried to make them agree on what is and isn't balanced in the game, which was his analogy.
Just curious. Am I gonna go find those if I open up Twitter? Because I'm gonna be pretty sure I've seen quite a few of them come across my page, and I've also seen quite a few crash outs.
So it's probably better to say if you got 10 people in a room to define what is game balance.
About heroes being now broken and like nerfed to the ground or unplayable, and those end up not being true. Am I 100% always? No, I'm not a perfect man. I'm not. I make a lot of mistakes. I'll do my best.
Gee, I'm just doing his job.
Why I think the things that I do, and you can disagree with it if you want. That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
It's not.
I mean,
fun.
I'm gonna just be honest with you. Listen, I'm not a pro player. I'm way past that phase in my career.
Wait, bruv, you even play this game, or do you just yap? Sirloin, what do you want?
He's very good, but I've seen a couple pro matches in the last 6 months or so where he didn't do too hot and was getting dragged all over the internet. Right? So it's like, listen, man, you're a very good player, but amongst the other pros, people should talk you like crazy. And that doesn't feel good, right? That's probably not very good to feel. Like, it's probably not fun to hear that kind of stuff. But like, imagine that though. People think you're dog shit at your level. They probably think you're dog shit at your level as being a pro player. You're absolutely better than 99.9% of players. But
I think what Flaz is trying to say is that two people in the same rank want different things. If he wants to say that, he can say that, but I keep seeing this on both sides of either of these guys, is extrapolating and saying stuff they never said. Like, we don't have to do it.
that pro bubble, you're shit, right? That's what a lot of people say. Not saying that's actually true, but I'm saying a lot of people do think that, and they might think it's like not winning on teams or not doing well or whatever. Do you agree with those people? I bet you wouldn't, right? I bet you think you probably do pretty well, and like you probably have things to improve on, right? But then you're gonna sit there and look at me.
Oh my God, get to the point, Jesus.
Like, do you ever like think for a second before saying some shit like that, or nah?
Guys, real quick, is I saw a video from Flats, and I was a good boy. I saved myself. I did not watch it yet, but he made a video titled...
He said that multiple times, timestamp it.
I should be aware for this, by the way. I appreciate I did see it.
Timestamp it. I had to sit through all of these. I sat through all of these responses. Timestamp it for me, or you're vibing it.
Alright, then let's go.
This is my dude.
Not to hit you like that, but if you can generally give me like an example, I'm happy to look at it
right there.
or
we
hear
were
it.
literally like 10 viewer streamers together back in like 2020. But he made this tweet yesterday. Sorry, actually it was 2 days ago because it was late yesterday that day. I know I'm not a big streamer, so my word probably doesn't mean shit, but please can we, for one season, stop with the new heroes and focus on new maps? Incompetent actual balance changes. Like, it's so boring playing the same maps all day versus the same poke comps at Marvel Rivals. And then I saw Boger yesterday responded and retweeted it. Not the same shirt. This shirt's blue. That one's gray. Are you guys colorblind? And it was like, average size streamer here. I concur. And I thought this wasn't going to be somewhere I wanted to do Twitter. Because Twitter, you guys blind?
Videos, he always says ranks different. Yes. But that's not what the original comment I was talking to said. Or did you change what you said? No, that was someone else.
Conversation on Twitter. It's genuinely possible. But I've seen the sentiment a lot recently where people are like, you know, fed up with balance and fed up with like whatever. And it's like, we need to just like slow the content down and we need to like focus on these other things. And without even getting into the nitty gritty, I'm just going to say this right off the bat. Balance is subjective.
A lot of people forget Flats used to work for Blizzard. He worked for one of the teams, as did this guy. Right? Also, don't give me the appeal to authority if he completely flounders on justifying anything to anyone with critical thinking. Okay, stop.
It is. How are you going to say it's not?
This looks insane.
I mean, farm your
reaction, is this not an insane
like, you could ask console players and
right
PC players at the top level. It's going to be different. 100%. You're going to ask a gold player and a top 100 player. It's going to be different. You're going to ask a celestial player and a platinum player. It's going to be different. And you know what's going to be different? Both their experiences. And if you say you should only balance for the
Let's wait for an esports talk. Guys, did you know Pirate Software work for Blizzard?
Top rank all the time, you just be wrong. Like, you can. And I think like balance does come top down in a lot of ways. That is a good philosophy to start with, but it's not perfect.
He couldn't be right about a WoW raid.
That's why it's not just data. It's data and an art form. Because you can't have it just all balanced around like the nichest pro player at the top. Because everyone that plays the game isn't at that level. That's a very small percentage of players. And Rivals is a more casual game. People want to have fun. Actually, can someone do me a favor? Quote me on this. There was an article a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago when Rivals came out. Rivals came out and said what their balance philosophy was. And their balance philosophy was not to make everything balanced, but for the characters to be fun. Someone find it for me. I'm giving...
That's every dev's goal. True, fine, whatever. what the fuck does this have to do with what he was responding to?
New omission. Go find it for me.
I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna let him cook.
Right.
Oh, we haven't
people
started.
agree on
Jesus.
balance,
Okay.
Unless it's one character. If you try to talk about the entire roster, you could never get two people to agree.
There we go. That's the thing. Sure, fine, absolutely, but it's not the role of every average Joe player to try and break things down and break down these larger concepts to decide what do we balance and how do we balance it. You got the same guys and asked them to define game balance, you would get different fucking answers, bro. Shout out Backrooms the film, TM. If you got 10 people in a room who'd never seen a dog before and described a dog to them and got them all to draw it, I'm sure they'd all come up with different drawings.
Was that it? Crap, can you grab it for me if that was it? Players, bronze players, you cannot get two people to agree because they will always have different experiences.
I'm gonna let him cook.
And so the only thing, like, I'm gonna be honest though, I don't believe you though in saying like I'm gonna let him cook, because if I have that reaction to that, something like that out the gate, I'm already fighting. I'm already ready to go. Like you're not actually listening. You're kind of just waiting for me to finish to then respond. You're not listening. That you can technically make sure that everyone agrees on is data, right? You can look at data and say this person has a lower win rate, 47%.
To move the frame.
Says 47%. They look at the data and go, yep, it's also 47. So they can both agree.
That's the up-to-date one.
Which is lower than 50%, which is low. Both people can agree on that. Now, after looking at that, though, you could both look at the same character with a negative win rate, though, and say, does that character need to be buffed then? Statistically, it's like, well, if we want to get closer to... By the way, listen, man, I'm just going to give you a content tip. If you're going to react to someone's content, you got to talk at some point.
Woo! This is where I started getting my personal stake in this one, bro. Okay, guys. Flats has reacted to a lot of my videos in the past. Many of those were uncredited. He starts grandstanding him about React content, and if I'm being real, bro, this is React content. Like, we all know what we're doing, and we all know this is not very creative or very difficult. Why are you dying on this hill? Glass houses.
Like you don't have to like wait. Like we're like straight up 3 minutes in, and I think we said like 6 words in a reaction. Like you got to talk at some point, man. Most of the time, otherwise it's just my video.
Fallacy bingo card in Discord, my goat. This will make it a bit more fun, everyone. I know I'm being very dry right now. I can't stop winning. Oh my god. Oh my god, is this like every fucking fallacy, bro? Misremembering Overwatch is an insane... Guys, did we use this one? Wait. Remember fallacy, hypocrisy, no true Scotsman ad nauseum. Could be worse, so it isn't bad. This time it will be different. Appeal to authority, appeal to ignorance. Compromise is always best. Ad hominem, strawman, whataboutism, cherubicking, psychologist, phasm. These two flats his favorite buzzwords. Moving the goalpost, correlation equals causation, hasty generalization, sunk cost, false dichotomy, post-hoc rationalization, conspiracy against me. Oh, he likes this one. I'm entitled to my opinion, McNamara fallacy. Kind of X with that. What's a McNamara fallacy? React farmer complaining about React farming. Like it's a content pillar of his, man. Stop. Stop, alright? Let's not get into the nitty-gritty of the ethics of it. You do it because it works. That is really the long and short of it for you, okay? Stop getting into the weeds about this. Jesus. McNamara fallacy. Tendency to make decisions based solely on easily measurable hard data while ignoring unquantifiable qualitative factors. Oh my god. True. It's hard to go through this whole thing, man, because he revisits like half of his points every time he opens his mouth. Hold on.
Play well in the character, but if you don't, like, you're gonna like if you buff them. Statistically, it's like, well, if we want to get closer to... By the way, listen, which is lower than 50%.
Okay, this one here.
Because they will always have different experiences.
I'm gonna let him cook.
And so the only thing, like, I'm gonna be honest though, I don't believe you though in saying like I'm gonna let him cook, because if I have that reaction to that, something like that out the gate, I'm already fighting. I'm already ready to go. Like I'm not.
I feel like he was really ready to be super combative, and like I've watched Light before. I disagree with him on a lot, but I know what I'm getting, and I care about a lot of perspectives on balance because it helps map my own position on it. But this seemed very genuine to me. Like, I feel like he is like willing to hear bro out.
you're not actually listening. You're kind of just waiting for me to finish to then respond. You're not listening. That you can technically make sure that everyone agrees on is data, right? You can look at data.
Okay, the thing he's saying here, I talked about this in my other stream. He's saying the thing everyone agrees on is data. And balance is subjective. Putting these two back to back goddamn near gave me an aneurysm. Are we kidding? I would say the one thing you could point to when it comes to talking about the design of this game that is only ever misinterpreted and used for confirmation bias, it's data. I guess data science isn't a fucking profession, guys. Like, what are we doing, man? Yeah, everyone can just interpret the win rates really well. It's really helpful. Yeah. But everyone can just have their own opinion on balance and it's whatever.
And say, this person has a lower win rate. 47%. You look at the other person, say, is it 47%? They look at the data and go, yep, it's also 47. So they can both agree.
That's because he says he doesn't care about balance. Yeah, and he kind of says it doesn't matter and uses very, very bad examples to justify it.
Has a negative win rate, which is lower than 50%, which is low. Both people can agree on that. Now, after looking at that, though, you could both look at the same character with a negative win rate, though, and say, does that character need to be buffed then? Statistically, it's like, well, if we want to get closer to... By the way, listen, man, I'm just going to give you a content tip. If you're going to react to someone's content, you got to talk at some point. Like...
I think it's really a shame that he does this as well, because I'll go into it later, but Flats is an authority on something, and it's this. And whenever he broaches into this topic during this whole thing, it's to be snarky, and it's not to actually give any, like, genuine advice. Like, he's just slinging shit from a glass house when he's saying this.
Like, you don't have to, like, wait. Like, we're like, straight up 3 minutes in, and I think we said, like, 6 words in a reaction. Like, you gotta talk at some point, man. Most of the time, it's
Otherwise, the eyes of sad. I am sad, bro. This is my space, bro. This is my space. I love talking about the design and balance of this game, and holy fuck, is this reductive nonsense.
But if you don't, like, you're gonna, like, if it has such a low win rate, Black Widow's a good example because she's like 39% or something like that. So, yeah, because he listens actually, but there's too many points being made back to back to wait.
Can't say that either.
All that time to then talk at the end. You can break them down as it goes. So you're gonna lose most of your games you pick Black Widow just because she's not as good. Does that mean they need a buff? A lot of times the answer is no. It's actually... This is responding to myself at this point. Example of that is, and here's what the whole thing... By the way, what I mean by that, though, is you can actually pause and be like, no, I agree with...
I do this as well. Like, a lot of the time, like, when I've looked at his videos that aren't this fucking Jesus, you have to stop point by point because it's just word salad. But in a lot of stuff, I'll let it run through and then respond to it bit by bit, because unless you do that, like has happened here, you don't get through the video. You're here forever. It's better to let him ramble off, you know, accidentally say the same thing 7 times, say 4 contradictory statements, then summarize it.
You on this. Oh, you found it? Hold up. Marvel has established itself as one of the go-to hero shooters, but unlike most other options, there's less of an onus placed on the competitive balancing. Instead, NetEase is more focused on making the game as fun as possible. So This is also PR speak and can 100% be just them covering their backs on having a hands-off approach to balance. Character we balance for fun, first and foremost. As in... Sorry, excuse me. As in if the character is fun to play or not to play. That's always number 1. Danny Koo. By the way, you don't know who Danny Koo is? Danny Koo's the guy who made Marvel Rivals. That guy's Guang Guang's boss. Executive producer Marvel Rivals, or Marvel Games told Danny in an interview at GDC.
Because of the team had calls earlier on. Yeah, Danny's executive producer, Guang Guang's creative director. I don't think anyone made Rivals. Rates making sure that no one character is too powerful and impressive so that everybody's still having fun, but that is secondary. Let's continue. Kind of falls apart a little bit. So by the way, when I say balancing is subjective, there's a great example. You're balancing for win rate, power of a character. What about balancing for fun? Like I said, that's my guy right there. This game relies on the casual base to come back and play every season and enjoy the new heroes, especially the new hyped heroes. That is what this keeps this. I think NTMR, he's light, LYTE. Had valid points, Flat skimmed him and insulted him as a person. Thing is, man, is that there are absolutely holes or flaws in the logic he has, but he's very honest about his opinion on it, right? So you know what you're getting, and his logic is very, like, it's transparent. Like, I know what I'm getting from him. He's melee dive hit scan biased. Sorry, anti-hit scan, melee dive biased player. He pretty much only cares about the pro experience, but that's helpful to me as knowing what the pros think about their experience of the game. Right? I think he barely meets him there, and most of it's personal attacks, or he tries to whitewash the entire thing and essentially just set anyone watching against pros, which I find to be stupid. You can absolutely have a problem with the shit he says about players that he thinks just like he whitewashes problems as skill issues or as whatever. It's a topic that I go into a lot about onboarding and the health of the product, which I think is also just never really addressed by anyone with any sense with a viewership. But
okay, let me just address some of the stuff he said. But I do hard agree with that statement. The new heroes is what people.
Okay, glad we're on the same page.
For. Now, before we even get to any more of this video, Sanju's out of his mind. If this game stopped releasing one hero,
okay, we're still on the same page.
It would die instantly. It would die. This game has the worst balance.
It's like hyperbolic, but
the worst technical state of
in a way.
any game I've ever played.
Okay, listen, we were both here, here, you know, we're together, and then we just took it like really far. Like I don't think it would die.
He sticks on this point for a bit. It's kind of whatever. If you slow down the content schedule, there's a good argument to be made that it would probably be really bad for the game. Now, me personally, I'd be biased towards it happening because I care about the longevity of the game, but it might take a hit in players that's actually like too impactful in one go.
Snap is not the same thing as Marvel Rivals. You're talking card game versus shooter game. Second off, Snap had a lot of issues beyond that. Just like it's I guess I had problems at the beginning. One of my friends played it all the time, and she's
okay.
But also, like, yeah, if a game stopped releasing content in general, no shit, it would die. Like, duh. You can't just, like, not release any content ever. But, like, anyways,
I mean, if you don't find it serious, you don't have to be here, bro. Like, people also, like, work on it as well, and it's their job, so.
Taking too far, not the point.
I played League of Legends, I played in Overwatch,
Thank you for the follow, Ghost.
Everything.
Overwatch? When did you Overwatch?
This game is the worst. It is the worst.
So then why are you playing it, bro? Stop. Go.
As I said, I've followed Flats for a very long time, and during the come up in Overwatch, and I watched his, like, every appearance on, like, every podcast, bro. I was, like, a Flats fan. But I also found him interesting to watch as, like, someone who wanted to make content. Because it was good to learn from him. He checked out of the balance discussion. You saw it happen. I think he self-admitted it, actually. Because no two people can agree on something, and it very much presented to me as his frustration with dealing with dissenting opinions online and not really being able to reconcile that in a way that was effective for him. He also spoke a lot about his burnout in both games, particularly during his come up, and how he managed to get a large viewership in Overwatch, and how it sounds like it was terrible for his health and that amount of burnout, etc., etc. There's no way he can be slinging mud on this topic. It's insane. He of all people should know better. This is kind of it's petty as hell, and it's kind of sad to see. I don't know.
Play someone else. Point blank. What's the point? Why are you here? Genuinely, why the f are you here? You don't enjoy it. Like,
this is the same guy that will still go into a podcast about Overwatch in the past year, right? List off 24 reasons why he really doesn't enjoy the game, and then say it's in a great spot. I was there, bro. I got ears. Like,
you shouldn't be playing the game if you don't enjoy it. If you genuinely hate the game that much, do something else. I don't get it.
The only thing redeemable about this game is the hero release schedule, and I guess the content, like the skins and stuff like that.
That's a lot, though. Like, most games would beg for that, you know?
Yeah, but a lot of the games begging for that probably have a better state of the core game of the core gameplay loop. Like, it could be a live service game like in Vermintide 2 with no content, right? But the core gameplay, it's pretty fucking good. It's got longevity there, right? Games kind of need a bit of both. And the rise of live service slop and the content cycles in a lot of these games, and how many some big games get, how many pieces of new content some big games get, kind of naturally encourages the industry to desire that a little bit more, especially if the game's already live service. People will desire this more. But again, and as a lot of the frustrations I have with the game, with Rivals, and others in the community do, the core gameplay itself is on serious life support. The experience of Rivals is the next battle pass. That is the game. Rivals is the next content drop. Like, that's the whole game, bro.
I don't know why people think if Rivals were to randomly just...
Like, it's false dichotomy crap again. It's like, so many games would beg for this, etc., etc. Like... What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Putting out their content that their brains would fix and they would suddenly balance the game.
Okay, we're on the same page again. A little more aggressive than I am, but I agree.
Do you really think Zeong knows what he's doing? Do you think it's the new heroes that are keeping Zeong from balancing the game? If it was the case with
Okay, like, again, we kind of agree, but like not totally the same way, but we do agree.
good, but every new hero that is added is imbalanced, maybe you could have that conversation. But the solution is stop releasing the characters overpowered. That's it. Lower their numbers. Slowing the content cycle down.
They did. It was called White Fox, and people lost their minds that she was shit, you know?
Yeah, bro. With what Light was saying here, I don't think there's any particular reason why Zeong or his team have issues or struggles balancing. I will say, though, it was transparent as they increased the hero release cadence that, like, guys are partnered. I'm in the creator Discord. We would get stuff early. It doesn't happen anymore because of leaks. But the balance patch started lagging behind the regular content schedule. It started coming later and later. And then we start seeing... Did my internet just DC, or is that just live? Just live. Okay. Are we good? Hello? TikTok guys, we still there? And then when stuff comes out like, oh, it turns out they were making stuff like Blood Hunt. Just FYI, Zeong is the lead combat designer. What probably involves the lead combat designer? I'd say every new map, every new mode, includes the seasonal modes, includes stuff like Blood Hunt, which is becoming its own game in a smaller way. Yeah, I'd say they're probably stretched quite thin, but this is kind of a lesson that you get from Overwatch as well. Balance is not something that takes a lot of resources. Balance is something that requires vision, and that's just it. And when you see the game make a lot of mistakes like others in the space have, and haven't learned from them, especially when this game was released later, it's frustrating. And it's pretty justified because a lot of the approach to balance is philosophical. Do you think it's technically expensive to make a balance patch? You need the skeleton crew. Probably a couple testers, the actual devs themselves who work on making the patch and do the brain work to do it. And small amount of the technical team just to get the update to live.
And guess what? They were wrong, but they still listen to the community. I can agree with you on that. I think that they knee-jerk to the community too much. I think sometimes they need to stand 10 toes down.
Now, this is the one thing I agreed on Flats with super hard, is that I feel like Rivals knee-jerks to stuff as well. I agree with that. It's strange in the ways they do it. There aren't specific examples that are coming to the top of my mind, but yeah.
100%. I agree. However, what do you do if you're nice? You know, like if everyone who plays your game all the time is not having fun, and those of you that kind of actually enjoy your game, do you listen to them? Or do you listen to the person who hates your game all the time?
What if their vision is just fundamentally different from what you want their vision to be? That's probably 100% correct. Then we're probably in the reality we're in now. It doesn't really make what we're talking about less important or anything.
Fine. AKA, not saying him specifically, by the way. I mean the whole hyper-competitive player. The hyper-competitive player is like a leech on every game. I'm not saying that like they're bad people, but like they literally drive themselves insane. Like, it's not
What's
even
happening
on purpose.
now?
Like,
I can't hear. Do you guys have audio?
CIA level torture to themselves by playing the same game for 12 hours a day every single.
You are literally the poster child of doing this. You are the guy who has done this for years, okay? Why are we grandstanding about it? There's so much of that in this video.
And you drive yourself crazy. I've done it. I've lived in that. I've legitimately done that myself. I've done that to myself. I can speak from experience.
There we
Even
go.
if you did release it in a perfect state and then everything was great, there'd be something new to complain about and a new thing that would come up.
Like, also, guys, there is a place for this mentality. Like, devs want this feedback. Go look at how the devs of Deadlock approach stuff. Like, they need stuff like this. It's the job of devs to pass feedback out and identify what is and isn't important. Mouse! Mouse! You knocked my ring off the table and went crazy trying to chase it.
And those other people who actually do come up and enjoy those new heroes and those new seasons thing would just leave. So it's like, I understand they're in a tough spot. Even though I agree with you, like, I think there's no reason to buff them. And they should be in a more balanced state. But I also can't fault them.
Not make the game better.
The hyper-competitive player is what keeps League, Valorant, and CS alive, by the way. These are not those games, first off. Second off, Rivals...
Who was here when he was on the 5v5v 6v6 debate? Or one of them. Or one of the many group up podcasts then. This is John. Guys, no one wanted to play tank in WoW. One of the champions of this absolute fallacy of argument. Alright? Guys, people didn't want to play tank in WoW, so no one's ever going to want to play tank. It's like the same thing as Overwatch, bro. You can completely apply these and they map on one-to-one. Alright.
Esports does not have the watchability of League, Valorant, and CS. Same thing as Overwatch, and Overwatch is one less character. 5v5 is much more watchable than 6v6 because there's not much abilities, there's not much intricacies. Rivals takes that and puts it to 11. The amount of flashing lights and shit that's going off on your screen always in Rivals is ridiculous. And I want...
Not to railroad us or sidetrack us too hard with the whole visual clutter problem, I think the Hero Shooter space is an absolute joke when it comes to watchability. I think the problem you have is really that players just need to educate themselves on it, and a content cycle will make that harder. A new character does this new flashing light thing. What the hell is that? What's going on? But also, when they add stuff to these games, there is sort of a grass is greener other side to it. I kind of think that once you hit a critical mass of something being so many flashing lights and overstimulating, I think everyone visually processes it in a different way. Like, you hit a point where it's like, yeah, this is a mess. Yeah, it's a Rivals team fight. Okay, we're looking at the HUD at the top instead. You know, who just used their role. Like, same shit happens in Overwatch. Oh, Lifeweaver's tree's out. Fucking Zenyatta's ulting. Zarya just grabbed. I do not care what I'm looking at on the screen anymore. Like, what? Like, who used their fucking... I'm looking at the HUD now. Like...
Rivals esports to succeed, and I've actually talked about many times on stream what I think they could do to make it a lot better, and I think they've done a lot with like their ban system. However, though, you cannot compare this game to CS or League of Legends, okay? These are...
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can pass out examples and what is and isn't relevant and try to, you know, contend with those. It's completely fine to do so, you know?
Are night and day different games. They're not even close to the same.
Makes it worse.
Like, if we were having a conversation about toxicity and we use like Counter-Strike as an example and compare that to Overwatch, like, there'd be maybe a more tense competitive environment, but what is it, 5v5? Relatively similar match lengths. Probably would be good to see what Valve does in that game to combat toxicity if you were talking about that. Like, you could apply stuff from other games, bro.
This is a billion-dollar company. They have different teams for the technical state, for the balance team, for the community team, like all over the board. They have teams.
Yeah,
There's probably hundreds of people that work on this game. Balance is its own subsection of probably like 15 people, with Xeon being the head of it. And you think it's like slowing down the hero release is going to magically get them to figure out what the f they're doing? No, they've had 20 patches and have f every single one. I've never ever looked over a patch notes and been like, yeah, this makes sense. Oh yeah, Jean Grey.
There's never been anything in any of the patch notes that makes sense.
Like, he's being hyperbolic. I mean, just going off on a tangent on this isn't going to help either of you.
There's just, I don't believe you.
But he's generally displeased with a lot of patches. That's absolutely fair.
I don't believe you. There's never been a single patch note.
Again, it's flats,
ever,
yeah.
And nothing in those patch notes that you're like, yeah, that seems good. Really? And never? Really? Never? That just, like, that, like, I hate to be that guy, but it just seems like it can't. It can't be real. He's being hyperbolic to make a point. But like, when you decide to be this analytical, though, you can't be hyperbolic. You have to be somewhat.
It was so hyperbolic in your original video is the whole problem, bro. Like, this is the entire thing that's being responded to. Holy fuck, man. So much of his argumentation and how he justified stuff was to just call out some nebulous or off the top of his head, super outrageous, like Twitter-brained, like other side saying something psychotic. Like straw man example, and would say that, and that's how he went on his whole spiel about asking people to fire Ziyong, or do you know how hard they work over at NetEase?
You know, like, you have to give some grace. You can't say everything sucks all the time. That can't be the whole personality. There has to be some goods that we look back at. Like, these are things they did well. These are things that they don't do well. Like, it always sucks. He meant overall. Again, you're saying there's never been a patch where you're like, okay, this is pretty good.
One of the strongest heroes that they've ever put in the game, who's been dominating the meta since ever, slap on the wrist. Oh, 2 patches later? Oh, we buffed her. We compensated buffed her. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Oh, but Magic? Oh, she has a 53% win rate, though. Gotta nerf her. Oh, Blade? Give a +1 damage.
First off, Magic's had the highest win rate in the game, literally every season since the beginning, other than Penny Parker. Like, on
I think both of them aren't equipped to... I'm not currently, because, to be honest, I haven't done a real deep dive into Magic, and I've said this before, but, like, Magic's a fucking outlier to me, bro. She's got behavior on the ladder that I find questionable. Personally, I find her iframes to be distasteful, but that's kind of the point. Not the point. Yeah, she's a fucking weird one for me, bro. But, like, Penny having a high win rate, I think is an issue. And I think probably everyone can agree on that one, at least. Again, it's like a case-by-case thing.
I think, I don't know about what above all, but, like, up to Celestial, I think maybe GM, literally the highest. So, like, I mean, I guess, but they don't really change Magic that much. Phoenix has actually got a point. Phoenix, I don't know what the f they're cooking with that, but what I think it is they don't want characters to be so unplayably bad that they want to keep their strength for, like, the 98% of people that play the game. Like realistically,
Black Widow.
What you have to do is you have to realize this game is not balanced for you. Like, you have to come to terms with the...
I feel like anyone who has some cursory literacy when it comes to reading a balance patch can see the contradictions in all of them. Like, they really, like, guys, in the recent one, I could throw them a bone and say, you know what, I feel like Ultron was probably good really high up. I don't think he was doing insane for everyone else. I don't think everyone thought he was broken, right? Got a nerf, right? But Torch got buffed again in the same patch, and I was like, oh shit, maybe they're considering the pairing of the flyers because of a fear of hard Torch meta. But the last time Torch was buffed before that, they buffed Ultron at the same time. And I was looking at that like, holy shit, did they not know that they might have created Torch flyer meta again accidentally without considering these two? Like, I don't feel like the philosophy is unilaterally applied in a way that's consistent.
Fact that the game is not balanced for you, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should not be balanced, rival specifically for top 500 players and pro players. Because this game is...
Fallacy again. Fallacy again. Guys, he is framing it as light is the only other option, and then flats is the camp that you're in. The fact of the matter is that the devs are completely able to design and balance for heroes across ranks. It is that simple. It's a little bit more finicky and a little bit more intricate. And you can also, it's completely acceptable to have outliers that are just good in low ranks and are more of an accessibility product to get you into the game. But holy shit, can you incorporate both of these? You can incorporate everybody's feedback. This is the point, man.
Not that serious. And what carries this game is the console base and the casual base. And if you do want it to become a pro game, that esports number needs to quadruple. And there's ways to do it. You can make it a more competitive game, but it's...
I don't want to hear the grandstanding on, like, quadrupling the esports, because the number one thing he's going to do is suddenly his eyes are going to light up and there's going to be all this passion and he's going to be talking about getting better drops. As Mr. I occupied all the viewership on every waking hour of the day, and then with a backup channel and rating in the inner circle between us circularly of partnered creators in Overwatch to eat up all the Twitch viewership. Yes, I want more drops. Cool. Can you talk about esports in a way that matters to anyone else?
Now, and it's not really what its player base wants.
Issue with Sword for 8 patches. Oh, but Torch? Good for 2 seasons? Nerfed into the ground.
Okay, Torch was good for like 3, and it was a little much, but I mean...
God, my soul's leaving my body!
Nerfs 1 patch?
But everybody was calling for Torch nerfs. Were we not there?
Oh, but Elsa? Ooh. See, Elsa just needs little slaps.
You don't read YT chat? I'm not reading a whole lot of chat right now. This is a lot, bro. Thanks for coming by, Luke. What if I say I disagree with all your balance dislike? Also, maybe they consider the console balance? Yes, but do you realize you are saying you just disagree? Which is, I mean, great, bro, but are you hoping to engage with me on that? Because you haven't said why.
Wait, she's not top 3 DPS anymore. Hold on, let's buff her back up. Bro, I could legit think of 50,000 examples of the balance.
I don't think Elsa's that, like, insane now. Like, she's still very strong. She's definitely very good. Like, I wouldn't she's, like, dominating every game. Like, you don't lose a game if you don't have an Elsa.
Bro, I remember company nerfed Iron Man. They nerfed Iron Man and Fantastic in the same patch and then buffed Jean Grey. Swear to God.
If you have more of an issue with him than the things you say, I'm gonna be real. In a general sense, a lot of what bro is saying is, like, fine. And correct. Like, yeah. I think, to be honest, I feel like he's tripping himself up with a lot of, like, superfluous stuff that's kind of around bro's point. Like when he says, what was it earlier? Fucking... there was one thing, I've lost it. But it's like, a lot of the time, he starts pulling in all this stuff, man.
To nerf Gambit is literal insanity. Yeah, that too. It's crazy.
They have nerfed Gambit a ton. The problem is Gambit's base kit is so juiced, you can't nerf it much more without the character being borderline unplayable for 90% of players. It needs, if you're gonna do anything, you need to rework him entirely. His base kit is so juiced that if you were, like, anyone that's, like, from bronze to maybe plat or gold or GM, if you nerfed it even more, you're just, like, kind of hanging out there. Oh, sorry.
You're saying balance changes were bad, but I only just like a few changes. Like, everything made sense to me in patch notes. I keep saying balance changes were bad.
Let me preface this. You would have to nerf it significantly more to have a big impact, to the point where you'd have to make him handless outside of his ult, or you make the ult a handless thing, right?
This is really dichotomous, like complete black and white. Sorry, false dichotomy. There is so much in Gambit's kit to tweak and change. The issue that they had was that they kept nerfing his neutral kit outside of his ultimate, and it did not move the needle at all. In the past 2 patches for Gambit, we finally got targeted nerfs to his ult. One of the patches had a compensation buff. This goes into his spiel about how No matter what they nerf, it doesn't matter. They keep hitting Gambit with a sledgehammer every patch, 12 patches in a row, blah, 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 and it doesn't matter. You know, he still gets permabanned. Yes, what a framing of the conversation that what anyone who took a cursory glance at the hero or played the game knew was the problem with the hero, which was the ultimate. When they don't change the ultimate, the hero ban slot doesn't change, and they finally start changing the ultimate in 2 of 7 mechanics by 20%, making him from about a 700% strength in his ultimate to about 640%. He's still in the ban slot. Wow. Nothing ever changes. They try everything, bro.
You'd have to do either one. Right. I understand it's the ult. I know it's the ult. But like, that's how the ult works. What do you want the ult to do?
What do you want the ult to do? Remove the cleanse. Remove the heal. Remove the speed, remove the jump height, remove the explosion. Specialize it into just damage. Specialize it into just speed. Don't care, there are 7 mechanics into it. Doesn't have to cleanse when you cast it. Etc, etc, etc. What are we doing, bro?
Do no damage, you want to do no healing, you want to do, like, what do you want to do? That's how it's designed to work. That's how it's designed to work.
Yes, and we can have a problem with the fundamental design of something. Like, the problem I had with Gambit's kit was, I thought it was a shame because there are so many cool mechanics in there that could be a separate hero's identity when they get added to the strategist role, and Gambit got all the mechanics. Absolutely all of them. So if you try to implement that in a way that's like meaningful, it's gonna not hit as hard. You know, introduce a support to the game who casts a protective shield on someone. I'm just ripping this from Wu Yang on Overwatch that explodes afterwards, right? Part of that mechanic is now in Gambit's ult. Or give someone something like a single target damage boost and damage resistance, and they get the explosions on their attacks. No, it's every single effect, man. It's so many resources you could give to a character. They put it all on one ultimate. It was such a shame.
You have to change it completely. You would have to rework it. You have to rework his whole kit. They have nerfed ult multiple times. They have done that. Like, I guess it depends, like, how hard do you want it nerfed, right? You'd have to, like...
They have only really started taking a look at it the past 2 patches for Gambit.
Really step on the gas. And I feel like in the last couple patches, they've gotten more aggressive with it, but it still wasn't enough, right?
So they actually started doing it.
Still not enough.
It's like an $80 billion market cap. Rivals for sure has to be at least 300 to 500 deploys. Exactly. It's crazy.
If you scroll through, or you ask the average support player, let's say, for example, how do they feel right now playing against Dive? A lot of them be like, I hate it. This is the same season, by the way, season 8.5, that loading in, everyone said Dive is dead. And I could show you 10 or 15 streamers where I saw that, tweets or video.
No, it's not.
Saying this is going to be the worst season ever. Riot hates their Dive players, hates Melee, we're back to post-slop. We're back to slop. And it ends up not being true at all. Daredevil is still a permaban. Every game.
Because people are terrible.
And I come to realize that balance and doesn't mean anything.
It does.
How much they change numbers. It doesn't matter.
The thing is, he's absolutely speaking to his experience. Like, his justifications for this are fine. Because Daredevil and Black Hat in the high elo games were the 2 melee DPS duelists who could check any of the hit scan on a flank. And when they get nerfed, oh no, it's hit scan hell again. Like, it's just hit scan heroes, that's it. Entire playstyle gone from the game.
His like 19th round of nerfs, and they were pretty strong this time, and he's still perma. You know who also got a big round of nerfs? Gambit. You know who's still perma-banned? Gambit. The one I actually brought up how bad Operation Health was for Siege. I played...
Oh, guys, if we just nerf a character by 1%...
Yeah, we went over this.
Our video on it, actually.
You better set it in here, then. You better say give me a couple. Give me at least the Daredevil, because I talked about it. Kill something. This in general is nobody can articulate what they want, specifically.
Oh, I can.
I'll take everything! Yeah. No one can articulate what they want specifically. Guys, when a dev tries to get feedback from someone, right? I have an example from this from my script for a short I want to make. Hold on. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Can't be that hard, bro. Where is it? Okay. Here's an example of something a dev would have to pass out, right? Guys, let's assume this is not to split or create a dichotomy between pro players and low rank players. But I will say that pro players will have a lot more insight into their specific pain points and where they're coming from. You know, it's their job to sort of figure the game out, but they play it at a high level and the game is different there. With lower rank players, you can get a wealth of frustrations and good feedback as sort of what is bad for players and makes the game less fun there, right? But a lot of it will be shots in the dark and you have to pass that out. Let's say a lower ranked player thinks Mr. Fantastic is broken because he keeps getting destroyed by the hero, like just walked on and smacked. So they start counterpicking him, play like Bucky. We're in like a gold elo. which causes the Mr. F to start walking backwards because he keeps losing all his health to the Bucky, right? Which is pretty one-to-one. You know, you're damaging him. He's got a lot of health and time to react, and he probably stops walking out in the open as much, right? When he's doing that, he's doing dog shit damage. He's not getting as many ults, and he's not putting out nearly as much pressure on the entire enemy team of the Bucky. But the counter-picking player on the Bucky is frustrated because despite their counter-pick and doing so much damage to the guy, he just won't die. He won't get the kill, and he's taking that to mean he's still not doing the right thing, and it's very frustrating to him. And when that Fantastic finally ults in, when his Luna's ulting and his whole team is walking, and this guy was still laser-focused on the Mr. F, who's in cover getting healed, right, and he's out of position now, he still blames the hero and thinks it's broken, when really the problem now in that game was everything else, because he was doing exactly the right thing already to get value and was doing it. Because he hyperfixated on this thing, he now considers Mr. F to be the source of all that problem, right? And a dev has to pass that out. Where is the frustration of this player coming from specifically? Okay. How much more of this do I do you reckon? Any sanity checkers in chat?
Okay, I want to hear it.
I just dropped a 2-hour video on it, actually.
You better set it in here then. You better say give me a couple. Give me at least the Daredevil, because I talked about it. That's it. Nobody has anything else. I agree that we should have more apps. Maps. I agree that maybe there should be a map voting system. We did not reference a 2-hour-long video. Oh my god. Please, I'm begging you.
That shit's boring.
I don't think you need a whole season to figure out how to make that not happen anymore.
Amen. Why are double bans still in the game?
Okay, we're in agreement.
We don't need to stop.
Hey, listen, I want to find some common ground. I want to find some common ground. I think finding common ground is good. I'm with you. I agree.
Double bans.
Sure.
Double bans isn't even up for debate. It's not subjective. Who wants double bans?
Sure.
Guys, we need to
Do you
pause
believe
all
developers
production.
should listen to content creators or no? I think, in a way, yes. But again, I do worry if the developers seem like kind of impressionable or way too knee-jerky to stuff they see online. So if they start bringing creators into like an inner circle and then just listening to them and being like, damn, we should really like consider this. It speaks to me as like a bit of a... They need a buffer against them or like some sort of method. And I do worry I see a bit of... I have an inkling that it might not be super strong over there, and I don't know how. Like, for instance, like they talk to... I know they've been in talks with, like, Clouded Rio, who I think is fairly reasonable, right? But they should be picking up on what the frustrations are and what people are frustrated about. They shouldn't be going like, you know, Flats gets his community together and they decide on how to fix something, and the devs just run with it, which do I think that had actually happened? No. What am I really trying to say? I feel like what content creators from a dev perspective can offer is, look, either it's their own experience and perspective in the space, sure, fine, but it's also their experience being in the content space and seeing what people are enjoying and what people are frustrated about, because they are a node for aspect, like members of the, like groups of the community. Like they're a central node for big groups of the community, and they can see what people are frustrated about, right? And they can synthesize a good amount of that because they're talking to their chat all the time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I think that's useful.
All heroes to fix double bans. And we have an entire technical team that made this game, but we can't figure it out. Pause all heroes, pause all departments. We need to fix double bans, and we need to spend an entire 6 months doing it.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
terrible company, bro.
You can get around that while keeping up the consistent content that the game already has. Also, like, I really sometimes get a little frustrated. Like, people not
he's watching 2x speed. I don't talk that fast.
Yeah, also, that's a good point. Unknown. Overwatch has map voting, and you could play the same maps in a row in Overwatch too, because people vote for the same maps. If anything, map...
Let's not do the appeal to Overwatch fallacy. Map voting has its own problems over there. It's literally, what are we doing? Playing the top 4 most popular maps all the time? Wow, King's Row again? You shouldn't have. That really cool fun map that was really fun in 6v6, and in 5v5 it's just Giga Tank smashes into Giga Tank and the whole map basically turns into one lane unless you're Sojourn.
Like, I don't think I've ever gotten the same map back-to-back in ranked ever, because you can't. I've had it when I swapped
In Rivals?
accounts and that happens, but...
If we're talking about in Rivals, I've literally gotten the same map multiple games in a row. If we're talking about Overwatch, yes. But you can... it's very rare. I think I've had it once or twice, but it is rare, more rare in Overwatch.
It's superfluous. I think back-to-back maps, I can't remember the last time I had it. I think I did have it earlier on in seasons, but like I have streaks of the same game mode, particularly. I feel like I don't get hit with proper variety in the sort of modes I'm playing, whether it's map variety or mode variety. I think it just doesn't happen. It's so streaky.
Horrible patch should be more aggressive.
They should be, I agree.
Specifically, I have literally seen every season people say, "Oh, the game hasn't changed at all. Oh, the game hasn't changed at all. It's the same."
This is very valid as a criticism.
Every season. Where Hulk was insane when the game first came out. Since then, has not been insane almost ever. He's been strong here and they've not been insane.
Okay, this is where he sort of goes off on a tangent and just starts listing that heroes in the game have gone up and down in meta standing. Sure. When people leave rivals and come back and they are hit by triple support again as the #1 fallback losing team strategy, and it slows the entire game down and eats up a lot of player agency and carry potential for the winning team, that is a valid frustration for people to say, maybe I shouldn't have come back. Like, that is probably, is that #1 frustration of the entire community? Pretty unanimously, I'd say. Triple sup. It's still here, bro. I don't care if it wasn't the S tier meta at the top of tier lists. Like, it is effective across ranks and is still used fucking every day, and you see it all the time.
Difficult to code it into the game. But, like, that's half or 4.8% of people or characters are banned each game. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 5.
Triple heal will always be an option. Doesn't mean you're going to win. No one was talking about if you're going to win or not.
Sometimes 4, sometimes it's even less, right? Maybe it's closer to 5. That said, though, if you immediately go from 4 bans with double bans to 6 bans with double bans and then remove double bans, you are now having statistically a lot more bans every game because you have no more double bans anymore. And the only thing you would have to be accounting for that is people just not voting, which is much slower.
Yes, well, they statistically release the most heroes ever, so
they might be afraid of too many bans hitting the ranked ladder all the time because they might account for that. On an average, you load in and the same 3 characters are banned on both teams. Both teams ban Phoenix, Gambit, whatever, right? And so they might think that that is already good. And so by adding another ban, or sorry, by adding removal of double bans, there might be something that they're afraid of breaking. Do I agree with that? No. I mean, just saying that there's ways to look at that without, well, I need to go find some
How did I start 3 subs though? Step 1 was the old charge nerf that was global.
No. The way you get through to this
the thing is there's no perfect answer, but they need to iterate on it, and they don't really, to be honest. They just don't.
Okay, they're probably afraid of it because XYZ. Let me explain to you why XYZ actually doesn't matter. And then you get people behind you because you have an actual logic behind it, not just complaining of them like they're just lazy, not doing their jobs. I could find someone to do it. There's got to be a different reason. Like, I don't think it's that hard.
Like, he does have an entire philosophy about it, so this is probably fair. He doesn't like his hyperbole, but his entire original video was very incorrect and, like, reductive framing on it, and a lot of hyperbolizing as well. So it's, I don't know, bro. This is just, like, mudslinging.
Hard to code. Simple to rework. And in since they buffed him a ton, and then more recently, not recently, like 2 months ago, and before that, he was strong for a solid 3 or 4 months, and then more recently, he's fallen off a bit more. Penny had multiple seasons of
I don't care about Boger's Season 0 tier list, bro.
Give her a team up, she became... Okay, so we just ego everybody that's not a pro.
Both of you gonna live, bro. Holy fuck. To you, he's literally a nobody.
Player at this point. Everybody's worse than me. Instead of go watch these, and I don't typically
in the DPS roster.
Esport.
What does Fallacy play this game? Like, what's?
I think most of this is just like random crap, to be honest.
Every season, all these characters. That's the average player. They want to hop.
Oh no, here we go.
Exactly.
Blade and Magic are in the same tier of terrible. Am I on a different timeline? Am I on a different dimension? And we agreed with that guy?
To be honest, most people that play this game don't like it to a certain degree because they just want to log on and play their Marvel character. I don't know how that follows.
How did you not understand that one? That's the average player! They want to hop on and play their favorite characters! They want to play the characters they find fun, whether they're their favorite Marvel heroes or characters that they enjoy their kit! How did you not understand that one? Literally shoot Torch in the head 6 times.
Can we add another face to the screen? Who wants to get in here? I'll put your face on the screen.
We literally had to shoot Torch in that. We had to dump
Let me know.
gallons of water on his head to take him down. You know what I mean? Like, we're currently doing the same thing to Daredevil. Kappa what? They nerfed him a bunch of times and then they literally had to shoot him. And he refuses to die. He's gotten shotgun blasted at point blank 12 times. But yet everyone says he's dead. And then he's good the next season. Same thing happens on the other side, right? Let's go with Phoenix. Phoenix has gotten...
What if we reduce the effectiveness of Daredevil's bread and butter combo for average ranks players by? Is it like 5%? Because you know what it is. It's just left click spam and using the chain slam. They don't like min-max the mechanics of the hero. The skill floor is completely like... It's been way too good for way too long across ranks. That's just it. You don't have to be good at Daredevil to get a load of value out of him. And that's really not something they've changed a whole lot. I'd actually say the recent change they made to him is probably actually really good for lower ranks. It's probably actually a little bit more thoughtful. I think the hero is probably still too survivable and does too much damage. And they still don't differentiate the toss and the slam. In fact, they moved them closer together, which was my one problem with the hero before they did that. But he has to get closer to use his dash, which means oh shit panic you induce in a gold player or a newer player in general when something's on top of them and they can't track them exactly and they're taking too much damage or whatever. It just feels like the game isn't working, bro. It is telegraphed that Daredevil is engaging on you for longer. I think that's a good change.
Gotten multiple nerfs. But guess what? She's still insane. Then they buffed her out of nowhere. Now she's broken again. But like, it happens every season. So balance is subjective. And
Balance is not. Oh, okay.
It's terrible framing. It's the worst framing. Stop saying this. It's not subjective or objective. It's different.
Finally, we should have done this at the beginning of the video.
Subjective is probably true and false at the same time. And like,
yes.
For me,
so why did we drama farm in the beginning with like the you
because you just say it so confidently, don't unpack it at all. Use a bunch of platitudes so you can farm low rank players without saying a whole lot. So you can get on the good side. And yeah, found an entire 37 minutes of yapping about balance. Probably the most views that topic's going to get in a long time, and there are a lot of people who are passionate about it, and you kind of just whitewash the whole thing. So yeah.
You go, it's true and false. Okay, so you can see there's some truth to it. Let's hear the false side though.
It's really complicated. I know I'm being Mr. Jordan Peterson right now, but like, just bear with me, okay? Like, there are some things that are subjective, but there is objectivity. Like, it is objective that Jean Grey is one of the best DPS in the game. Her placement is subjective, but it is objective that she's one of the best. It is objective that Gambit is one of the best supports in the game. It is objective that Cap is one of the best tanks in the game.
And why is nobody throwing rocks at this?
Is Cap standing like developing? Again, it's like for his experience as a pro player, which is like, sure, fine. I'd say the Gene point is correct, but I don't think this is like really what we're pointing at the objective things as. The objective things are probably the goals.
Why are they throwing rocks at me?
Now you can say, light, but what about in my plat GM console games? Like, Cap is horrible. That's because you're terrible, and everything at your rank is good, everything is bad. Nothing matters because everything is gatekept by how terrible everyone
is. This is like the #1 thing I hate hearing from Light. But like, again, I know what I'm getting from him, so I don't have to take this on board. Like, it's like he's one of many people who talk about this topic. He basically says that balance in lower ranks doesn't matter, essentially because you can make anything work in lower ranks, as long as you have the will to do it and you will learn the hero, right? Which is true, but to me is completely besides the point. Because we're not just balancing the game, we're also making a product. And I think talking about actually designing and maintaining the product is probably not touched on by either of these guys. But if exposure to a certain hero disproportionately causes newer players to churn out of the game and you lose those potential sales, yes, we need to balance that. I'm sorry, it needs to happen. Like, what are we doing? And that's a product decision.
Cares what's good at your rank.
You don't know what subjective means? The concept of balance is not something that's just had an opinion on. There are subjective inputs to balancing a game. If you get 10 people in a room, like Flats' analogy, and get them to define game balance, they'll all disagree. And that's what's being conflated with this conversation. People talk about their frustrations and what they want for the game, but it's usually nebulous, and it's up to the devs to determine where these frustrations and or desires come from and what systems in the game they relate to.
Bro, just get better at the game. No one.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get a lot of people on
Opinion
your
on
side with that.
Spidey's Gigapool, completely uninteractive for all the victims of it. That's pretty much it, bro.
With that mentality. Yeah. Yeah, listen, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect human. I mess up sometimes. But at least...
So it's subjective? If you want to hear what you want to hear, you're in the wrong place, bro.
I'm trying my best to understand both top-level play and everybody else. I don't think we can say that's true for you, though. I'm not going to always get it right. And I made a lot of mistakes.
Like his analogy is, if you get 10 people in a room and try to get them to decide which hero is broken and which is not, balance is subjective. Now, if you get 10 people that are trying to find game balance, they won't know what it is. Yes, let's all have a complete comprehensive opinion and decide how to direct the game when we don't even know what balance is. Or how to define it. Wonderful.
Thanks in my career. But, like, that's unbelievable.
Who cares? I hate when people talk about low elo shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Everything is good and bad.
What if they kiss? Elite.
There's a threshold.
It would be so good, bro.
Your has to reach in order to actually matter. Like what
I'd
you're doing
cry.
to actually matter. If no one is punishing you in the way that they should, then your character is going to fluctuate in their power because like no one's taking advantage of your character's lack of potential.
You know, if a gold player said that.
True, actual meta standing is kind of unstable.
He would technically be right too, but you wouldn't say he's right. Your character has a skill ceiling that you have to play up to, And if what was it exactly? Hang on, I just want to be sure.
Fluctuate in their power matter.
It
If no one's punishing you,
no one's
the way they
punishing you.
should, then your character is going to fluctuate in their power because.
Yeah, right. In Overwatch, we have this called counter swap. If you don't counter swap to punish their pick, then like you're not playing the game right.
No,
Like,
what
no
I'm saying
one
is counterplay, but alright.
advantage of your character's lack of potential, essentially. So if I'm playing a low tier character in a fighting game and I just keep spamming the same move and no one punishes my fireball, it's like, well, you're gonna think the fireball is broken. But the moment you play,
Yeah, exactly, Log. Yes, I have this position as well. Exactly. The issue is what Light suggests is dog shit for casual players. Precisely. Yes. My position is that opinions like his, I find this a worthwhile contribution because you know exactly what you're getting from him and he doesn't lie about how he feels about stuff. Which means I can just pass out all this fucking superfluous hyperbole bullshit because I know how him and his team members and some higher ranked players see the game, and that's what I get from him. And that's good, right? And you can add that to your fucking catalog of sort of how pro play is looking, etc. How players at the skill ceiling are feeling and what their pain points are, and you can account for that as you balance for casuals. None of this is mutually exclusive, and it doesn't have to be. And a lot of the framing of conversations about balance for time, especially in this game, has been casual versus pro. Is the game, should the game be more casual or more pro? Like, what? Okay, I guess that's how it works then. It's just either one or the other. Like, let's start with this, bro. Everyone keeps fucking high-horsing that the game is a casual game. But the two premier game modes, competitive and quick play, fucking suck, bro. Comp sucks and is way too pandering, has all these little mechanics to try and make it more accessible. And in the midst of that, quick play is notoriously dog shit and is absolutely atrocious. Like, it's just... Quick play is essentially just a meta abuse simulator, and so is ranked. There's just no bans in quick play. They do nothing to really address this or look into it. Like, and this is the culture of play in the game.
against someone who has hands that jumps over the fireball and then punches you and cancels the fireball, your character's terrible. It's the same thing.
I also think that, like, right, but, like... You were saying that 90% of people just shouldn't be allowed to play the game, like, at that point, and they're just not good, and they all suck, and they're all stupid, and they're all dumb, and that they don't matter.
Bro says they don't matter to him, pretty much. I'm pretty sure he's made clear that essentially the game needs casuals to survive, and that's it.
Like, you're a pro player. You literally survive by people watching the pro scene. NetEase puts
Let's throw 6 bronze versus 6 GM in quick play, yeah, to the bots as well, right?
money into the pro scene, hoping that its audience will tune in.
How do you censor in a live? It's a new thing, bro. I don't know what it sounds like. Is it crazy?
Its community. And I've actually tried to advocate for ways for NetEase to grow its esports scene. And you know what it needs? It needs all the casual people. It needs console players to start working their way in and start...
And I'd say the casual experience is pretty lackluster, and the competitive experience is quite mishandled. It's really just like, guys, quick play is kind of an afterthought, and ranked is their main retention system. But I don't know how much they care about the competitive integrity of the ranked mode, and quick play is kind of just there.
Integrate those people into a more competitive community, because that's how you get more viewership. That's how you keep your job. To sit there and say they don't matter in any way, shape, or form is just kind of insane. Because, like, they matter a lot. I'm not saying they are always right. A lot of times they're misguided. You see that guy who's like, Mr. Fantastic is broken. Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy. Mr. Fantastic ain't broken. But you don't say to that guy, shut the f up, you suck, you can't say that. Like, you'd be like, nah, like, I hate to break it to you. It's really not. And then you can explain to them kind of why, right? That's the whole point of the tier list discussions every season. That's why you don't look at my tier list and go, oh, this tier list, I play S tier. That's it. It's always subjective. Like, well, the reason why he's not saying that, question, so like, you...
Will someone please think of tank mains? I would love to see what Flats would say if I'd say, well, if balance doesn't really matter this much, what if we reverted all the Season 5 tank buffs?
Sit right where you are.
By how terrible everyone. Your rank GM best tanks in the game. Now you can say, light, but what about in my plat GM console games? Like, cap is horrible. That's because you're terrible, and everything at your rank is good, everything is bad. Nothing matters because everything is gatekept by how terrible everyone is. Like, who cares who's good at your rank, bro? Just get better at the game.
Really?
I
You
don't
don't
even
say
say
that?
that.
To me, it's funny. Who
Everything
cares?
is
I don't
good
take
and
that
bad.
seriously.
You should
Like, yeah.
understand, there's a threshold that your character has to reach in order to actually matter. Like what you're doing to like actually matter. If no one's punishing you in the way they should, then your character is going to fluctuate in their power because like,
He's completely blind to the importance of onboarding people to this more enthusiastic experience and how to pass out, you know, essentially the pain points players run into rank per rank. To be honest, you have a very easy band-aid system. Example, everyone in fucking Celestial banning, what was it, Cat, Dino, DD, right? Then you drop a little bit, Moon Knight's banned every game. Like, these players are agreeing on shit. It sounds very subjective to me, doesn't it, bro? Like, it's fucking, we have the data. We have it.
Your character's lack of potential, essentially. It's like
So that's a good growth moment where you just say, oh shit, I didn't hear that, I was wrong. And we all move on.
You don't do that. You don't do that. Stop. You don't do it. Stop.
And again, this is my guy right here, so I'm not trying to go over him. The Boga agrees with it too. I just ask, do we think they're not focusing on balance every season already? Realistically, do we not think they're already doing that? Like, they have a balanced team. So there's a team on the game that's dedicated to balance, right? There's a team that's dedicated to hero design.
Well, I just say, and I'm going to say as well, because I've seen his content before, his position, and I could summarize for you, is that go ahead, nerf, Black Cat DD. He said it so many times, right? He's fucking saying the opposite thing here. Like, low-key, what are you doing? I think both have been online too long. Nerf Black Cat and DD, but make sure you nerf the hit scans at the same time. That's it. And here he's like saying shit that I'm like, bro, I know this is not your position because you've reiterated this so many times.
they all need to be arrested and fired immediately.
But it's completely fair flats to respond to what he's saying here because this is kind of his first exposure to him. So I'm like, yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to grab Woofle's tweet because I thought Woofles would send it to me. Can you play that back for me one more time, Jarvis? Realistically, do we not think they're already doing that? Like, they have a balanced team. So there's a team on the game that's dedicated to balance, right? There's a team that's dedicated to hero design. There are a lot of people who play only QP, though. I play it because all my friends that play Rivals of consoles, so that's just where we start. Yeah, I know, and I feel like they should maintain that mode and make sure that mode is healthier. Fired and arrested. You know what? This is why he gets so upset about what I talked about labor practices in the back half of this video. When I talked about how they probably already work really hard. And
he literally conjured up something crazy to respond to and went on a fucking rant about labor practices. It's like, yeah, oh bro, someone showed up to my front door with a gun today. It was crazy. What does that have to do with this fucking talk about balance?
Already do crunch hours. You know why? Because that makes you uncomfortable. It runs, design teams for hero.
As a GM Celestial player, I would not mind at all if they balanced on top of 100 Pro. Yeah.
Maybe it makes bro uncomfortable to actually contend with maybe a position on that that's a bit more nuanced. Mr. Pro, I give into the Overwatch toxic positivity crowd and give up on all talks about balance. Late stage Overwatch 2. If you had the confidence to just go ahead and say, bro, actually maybe the entire whitewashing of how people criticize devs in the past 10 years, thank you Overwatch, maybe didn't need to happen. You know, any criticism of a slight balance decision, the cheapest thing for devs to churn out, isn't actually someone attacking a concept artist. And if you somehow manage to find the one person saying that, and then use them to represent everyone you want to argue against, don't fucking have the conversation. What are we talking about, bro? Fucking hell.
Guys, like, also, if you're in the competitive game mode, and your goal as a player, because you're playing the competitive game mode, the one where you get better and you get a rank, wouldn't you rather the game be balanced around
Black Ops is the new demon in ranked? Agreed.
Actually good and bad and gives you direction in what you should be playing.
They don't know that though. What do you mean? You just said they suck and that they don't matter and anything in their rank will work anyways. So why the fuck would they care about it being balanced for you? Because it's already shit in their rank anyways. They're just clicking buttons like a bunch of drones. So why wouldn't they want the game to be optimized for their own fun and say fuck you at that point?
Kind of contradictory, strange rant. But genuinely, bro, this is kind of an argument for, like, if you're gonna stand on this and like this is where you want to plant the flag and have the conversation with him with the crazy shit he's saying, are you not arguing that the changes won't really affect the low-ranked players?
You kind of answered your own question. You just said that you should be balanced top down. But then they don't matter, and they're all dumb, so they're not going to be able to take advantage of it anyways.
How you should be playing? Remember that time they forgot about nerfing Gambit? Yeah, they forgot to nerf Gambit, and they had to add the nerfs in a hotfix patch whenever he was the best DPS, the best support in the game for 5.
Hang on. Okay, sorry, let me back up here. I was trying to help out.
And how you should be playing? Remember that time they forgot about nerfing Gambit? Yeah, they
did I get too far?
The higher end, because that tells you what's actually good and bad and gives you direction in what you should be playing and how you should be playing.
I already said this.
Remember that time they forgot about nerfing Gambit? Yeah, they forgot to nerf Gambit, and they had to add the nerfs in a hotfix patch whenever he was the best DPS or the best support in the game for 5 months, and they finally made him 250.
Skins, maps, all that stuff, they all have their own teams. What makes you think if they focus on it for a season, and just stop the other departments. Oh, sorry, I have all super chats and stuff off right now because I'm trying to like really focus on this. I know you guys are asking good questions, and I really don't mean to leave you on read, but like there's so much in here. This is an hour long. I can't go on any tangents. I'm sorry. I have to be fixed.
I don't think anyone is wrong. They're just unable to properly agree. They both bring valid points and invalid ones based on their biases. The issue I have personally is that I feel like Flats poorly explains his point, but you know exactly what you're getting with this guy. I disagree with Light on so much stuff, but I find his pro perspective helpful because I know what he thinks, bro. I know how he feels about the game, and I don't like this isn't fucking law. I find this to be a really helpful and meaningful data point in assessing pain points of the community and how stuff is tracking. One of many. Because he's transparent about his biases for dive melee DPS. Like, I know the tangential shit bro says. It's like fucking, I don't care about that.
Yeah, most bans support in the game, by the way. Yeah, no, chat. I don't know how much this matters. Let me just pull this up for
you know exactly what you're getting because
guys,
you're familiar with this guy. Yeah, I'm familiar with him, but he also like was pretty well communicated and concise when he showed up on Clear Comms the first time. It's like I'm also very, very much more familiar with Flats now for years. I was in the fucking game he used to be in, and he was the guy I watched. Like,
I'm gonna find this. This is from like Rivals meta, so you can take this with a grain of salt. But I swear I posted a.
Did you? This is your tier list, right? Why is Wolverine in detail?
Balance should be made around pro players. It's a trick question. It shouldn't be made around one group.
Admission, you said he's really good. Is this yours? No, it's a bait tier list.
Screenshot.
Why are we making
There are
bait tier
individual
lists?
changes that should be employed for both.
I feel like if you want to be part of the discussion and you want like your opinions to actually matter, you can't really.
They're
do this
not
very much.
mutually
Like, you can have a funny
exclusive. They don't
ha-ha,
have to be.
hee-hee small here
Some changes will be, but you need to keep that in mind and be honest about it.
and there, but like realistically, you can't.
Yeah, here it is. Gambit has in top 500, like in one of
Oh, yeah,
It's
Widow
tricky,
Day.
but it's their game to manage, and it's the ball's in their court. It's their responsibility.
100% win rate.
You have to listen. They didn't. I
I
was
think
asking
this
the
is flop.
question if
I
it was-
genuinely, I struggled to track this, and this is far into the fucking weeds in the video. I think this is just like slob. I think every time we're arguing over win rates like this, fucking, I don't care.
Do you see how that's like kind of insane?
For free.
Kind of insane to like say, and then it's like, well, then you should have no job, and it's like, isn't that kind of like legitimately nuts? Also, self-quad, and that's why they should not release a hero. Adding hero as a big toll of the team. But those are different teams. With all due respect, they chose that work schedule. Oh, but you don't. The culture difference is not slap. No, first off, this is not America. It's not Europe. First off, you have to have dedication to your company in a lot of Asian countries. Like Japan, it's actually way worse. Is a good example. Japan, you literally can't change jobs. Like you legitimately can't. You'll get shamed for leaving your job, and they pay you legitimately pennies.
No disrespect to Flats, but he's been known for not explaining very clearly all the time. A little bit of a high horse. Yeah.
When you go to Japan as an American and you bring your dollar, you can buy so. Are we googling that to see if that's true? Same thing like Vietnam, whatnot. The dollar goes insanely hard. You can, before he even says anything, you can literally hire somebody in Japan to quit your job for you because it's that stressful. That's a legitimate profession that people will do and go to a company and quit on your behalf. Like much higher. But you have to think about something for a second. The people who live there have to. Whenever he's googling it on the side, like.
Let me rephrase it so it's balanced objective.
Shut the fuck. So their salary probably reflects local currencies, upper, lower, and middle. I'm not trying to be that guy, but are we still? If we're still looking at the other side, and I'm on 2 XP. There's no way I'm being listened to right now. And then
That is again incomplete or loaded.
Here's the thing that
like it's,
people
I
don't
kind of had the
understand
same
about opinions is
response.
Not everyone's opinions matter.
You weren't even listening.
True. 100% true. Not everyone's opinions matter. This is the job of the devs. That's the job of the devs.
I watch you googling on the other side, and then to say the opinions don't matter, brother. You're a great example of this. Literally point blank, you tried to say that 95% of the player base literally doesn't get to play the game because they're handless and skill issue. How about this? I want you to go get an opinion because you don't actually pay the bills of this game.
I don't know what he means in that last part. Yeah, fine for him to say that about him, to be honest. I find like the way he reacts is fucking uncanny to me. I don't know what this is. But like, yeah, he's talking to his community, bro. And it's just like, yeah, I'm a high rank player. This is how I feel about it. Fucking, he thinks the other people are handless, blah, blah, blah. I have a serious problem with that. I have a serious, like, product-focused angle with a lot of my fucking argument towards how I feel the devs should be doing some stuff in the games or not doing shit in the game. And yeah, the sort of just negating the average player base in that is just like a non-starter.
Point blank, you don't.
We want that to sink in with you guys. And I mean for everything. You guys have to understand, your opinion does not always matter, and neither does mine. I would never, ever think about going into a NASA facility and telling the engineers there how to build a rocket. Why the
Okay, yes, I agree with that part at least.
This, fuck me, I love this part, bro. Here we go.
they want my opinion on that? Oh,
Sure.
why? How much? What do you think we should
Sure,
do
are you a NASA scientist though?
about this?
No, he's the equivalent of a pilot. No one seemed to fucking get this one. I love this when you see fucking arguments online and people just want to side with one or the other. No one engages with any anything that requires a little bit of legwork, as in engaging with an example, a hypothetical, a fucking analogy, they will not do it. He's not going to go to NASA and tell them how to build a fucking rocket, just like he's not going to tell them how to use the fucking coding language they do. But he is for them the equivalent of a pilot.
Machine here, and how much fuel should we give this rocket here? Like,
Because we're talking about rivals balance, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
no, man, don't take my opinion. I don't know anything about this shit.
Right.
That's how plat players should feel about this, by the way.
Hey, listen. I'm no perfect man, chat. I'm really not. But I do my damn best, okay?
And I like how you're the dictator of what a casual is. This will be good. You said that, Riley? Casuals are what make a game. Catering to pros will kill a game. Argue with a wall. I think that's just a platitude that's just said. Can you unpack that any further than that? Or is it going to be something nebulous like pros want stuff that lower ranked players don't, and they will not find fun, so they'll leave? Because, I mean, if we assume that's true, why is it a false dichotomy like this? Like, why do you have to pick one or the other?
He should talk to you guys at that point, not me.
Don't take my opinion. I don't know anything about this shit. That's how plat players should feel about this, by the way. Your opinion doesn't matter. This isn't like, what's your favorite color? You know? What's your favorite food? The alpha testers were telling you how much of a problem.
This, to me, as well, is like, I've never seen Flats act like this before, bro. Like, despite all Light's fucking hyperbole, I do believe he approaches this more or less with a willingness to, like, see or throw Flats a bone, where it's, like, where credit is due.
I was going to be and they did not. I was one of them. I was one of the alpha testers. I told them, guys, nerf Hella. You can't do this. Dude, I remember, I've told this story so many times, so now that my channel's a little bit bigger, maybe some of you haven't heard this before. I literally was, I played this game since the alpha, okay? Since the alpha. I started competing in the
I
beta.
don't care about this part, bro.
Not supports, they're strategists. They do other things.
I mean, we are not Overwatch. These are duelists, Vanguards, and I do believe that. But I don't
Yeah,
think
let's see how that panned out, bro. It's the most archetypal
They were taking hard
fucking...
stand.
They literally had a meeting. I remember.
Hey, listen, I think I should have just disregarded you, by the way. Listen, I don't know how this video is also like you, and you were just like an alpha tester. Like, I'm probably just...
You balance for the 1%, you give the game a kill shot. Here's an example. The pros will never want Wonder to be good. Newer players get filtered out of the game by Wonder players who lean on Wonder as a crutch because anything they try to learn that's harder to play than Wonder, and they have a bronze level skill at, they get destroyed by a Wonder, they drop the game. Their interests are aligned there. Like, there you go. There's one example instantly off the top of my head, bro. Like, these things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Saying off, dude.
There was like an early access Discord call where it was a Q&A. And that was my question. I was like, guys, like, do you plan on releasing... This was before they announced Psylocke and Wolf and Iron Fist, like the final 6 heroes for the game release. I was like...
The name means nothing. Yeah, they don't walk the walk. That's the problem with the attempt to rename the roles. Because Rivals has the most rigid archetypes of characters you could imagine, bro. They may as well call strategists healers, is where we're at.
These guys are the next 6 heroes are going to be tanks and supports because you already have like 20 DPS, and they told me they're not called tanks and supports. I swear to God on everything. On my dog's life, bro.
So then why didn't right there the fall go, oh, I apologize, Vanguards. Are they Vanguards? You ever read the room and been like, oh shit, they're really trying to like be like, yeah, they don't want, they do.
That is fair. He should have done it. However, I will say though, NetEase was tone deaf on that.
Not want to be associated with Overwatch. They want their own thing, and then you just pivot, you know? So what?
On my dog's life, like I swear.
What did his dog do, man?
Tell them, guys, like, why does Hella have a stun? Why does a sniper have a stun? You can't interact with her at all. And they were like, yeah, she's a little strong, but we're keeping our eyes on her. We plan to do something about her on release, and as more characters will get added, more answers will be had to these certain types of characters.
This is not hyperbole. He's legit a Ronin douche. That's probably fair.
There's an Overwatch team. He actually is an Overwatch player indeed, but he doesn't play for Nightmare in Overwatch. And first off, Nightmare was originally an Overwatch word. Actually,
I think to me, I don't particularly find him grating, but I absolutely can see why people would dislike him, or like it's not for them, like his content. But it just kind of goes in one ear out the other. Like for me, it's like I find like his perspective on the game helpful for fucking thinking about it, but you know.
I think the guy who made Nightmare, he used to watch the stream all the time, so I'm very well aware what Nightmare is.
Which is true. That is true. As the game came out, they did release more heroes that could deal with Hella, like Angela, like Daredevil, you know, that type of thing.
That's what I'm waiting for, Rekka.
But you know what they did after that conversation, after Hella was the most broken DPS in the game ever since the alpha, since the pre-alpha, and the alpha and the beta, you know what they did to Hella? They buffed her. They buffed her, chat. They made her 275. I swear everything, they made her 275. She was 250. They buffed her 3 times.
Remember season 2 when she was like not good in season 2 because they nerfed her, and like that was the cap season. It was like the hard dive season. It was the first hard dive season that we ever had. And then
True, Gambit is such a fun strategist, but unless you heal bot, you don't get ult faster, and Gambit's whole kit is overshadowed by the ult. Sad for that min-max Gambit has to be a heal bot. Absolutely. I said this about, yeah, we've talked about this with Gambit. You're spot on. Yeah. And I really hated that their approach to nerfing him was, again, like they won't touch healing ultimates with a 10-foot pole, and they need to be told time and time again with months of ban data and Gambit being a top ban and outrage from the community that, like, can you just nerf the problem? Yeah. Like, they would rather degrade his entire kit around the ultimate on top of the incentive already being to heal bot so he gets his ult faster, and just triple down on him having to use that gameplay loop and never getting to do the fun Gambit stuff. You press Q, bro. That's Gambit's job. Like, it was so tone deaf by them. And it's because they couldn't just accept nerfing something, bro. They couldn't just nerf the problem. Blizzard's fucking ammo, by the way.
Didn't Phoenix come out?
It's the more balanced game over there. They both have the same fucking problems. They both have the exact same fucking problems.
After that, so like they were probably trying to have her compete with Phoenix. We're just going on a tangent though. Like this is crazy.
Oh, but like, they're overworked. They don't see their families, right? Bro, I'm not asking you to go work at a cold mine. I'm asking you to...
Again, like this is classic strawman rip.
Why is he saying this? His original thing, where he goes on the spiel about fucking they don't get to see their families, was a straw man he made up. That's what it spawned from. That's what that whole rant spawned from. I don't know why bro says this. It's fucking insane to watch to me. What are we doing, man?
Whipping you up into a frenzy. The point was that they're already trying to balance, right? If you want to give objective feedback of like,
and let's just I've seen it with Overwatch. Unk's well nurtured and cashed in on toxic positivity crowd in the Overwatch cult that is like the main player base, or anyone who engages in stuff online. Overwatch is really entrenched, bro. But any criticism of something about a game gets conflated with hate to devs and wanting them to suffer, and wanting some laborer who works on a PC to suffer is so reductive, stupid. Stop it with your virtue signaling bullshit. No one cares how right you think you are when you reduce a dev team to this. What is every skilled laborer work for the community, and we set their hours, we write their contracts, we require them to stay late? We have an issue with the balance philosophy of the cheapest thing a dev team can turn around with an absolute skeleton crew.
I can smell it.
It costs nearly fucking nothing. Oh, we want to crack the whip, bro. Everyone wants to crack the whip. Work harder. Everyone's saying work harder. You know, the whole balance discussion isn't work smarter. Of course not. Fuck me.
I think this should change this or whatever change. That's totally fine. I'm actually completely with you. Express your opinion. But to say like they're not working hard enough, to say that, which is by the way, which chat was saying that day, they're not working hard enough and they suck at their job.
Take it up with them then.
Should be fired. Your quote, by the way. Your quote. So that means, oh, they're clearly not good at their jobs, or maybe they should just hire more people.
To be fair, I agree with the point on fucking saying people get fired, right? It's him fucking around, and I know he's not serious, and he explains he's not serious, but I've told people not to do it in my chat. John still gets away with shit, gets banned every fucking day.
And I was explaining to all of that that's just nonsense. And I doubt that it's that they have no idea what they're doing. I bet it's just they're not balancing for you. And granted, I do actually agree with some of the takes of like, oh, like this should
point
be
out
more
who they're balancing for.
Or this should be more buffed, or like, you know, certain heroes.
Don't say casuals nebulously, because every fucking patch is contradictory.
You're calling for them to be fired, and now automatically I feel like at that point you're kind of writing yourself off to any like future wanting to take it seriously. Two,
well, no,
you have not considered the fact that they're
doing
not
the whole toxic positivity, like virtue signaling cash in. Like, no, it's a non-starter to ask for people to be fired. What are we fucking talking about? It's not serious. Let's have the conversation about it though. Like, around it though. Like, what is this philosophy we're talking about?
Balancing for you at all throughout any of this rant. Not even for a second. They must be.
How many times can you not be serious until you aren't joking anymore?
Balancing for you at all times.
Like, look, man. To be honest, if you find something funny, you find something funny. I've been running the same fucking bits for 2 years on my channel, bro. Am I making those jokes though? No. So
why have we not considered that yet?
Listen to your community and make.
It just seems it literally is bad faith. That whole thing is bad faith. That's not what we were talking about.
Yeah, this season is good in terms of balance. I'd say at minimum there's new heroes in the rotation. I'd say all the core issues are the same, and like the core pain points are the same. But like in terms of like meta standing, we get Angela and Cap. Cyclops has taken a slot of a hit scan. I'd say the experience of playing against the hit scans are the same. But as seasons go, it's not the worst. But yeah, it's like, look, man, I think like the elephant in the room for me is like Cyclops comes in, takes the slot of the previous hit scan. There's a hit scan in every game. You know, it's kind of the, to me, it's kind of the same shit. Like I dislike hit scan. That's kind of it.
The thing we were talking about during that, and it was
yeah, you know, I play Adam. I'm not finding any of his buffs to be keeping him up with anything. I feel like the game just accelerates past his kit as well. Like a lot of games I have on Adam are kind of like, yeah, I'm not having the best time. Don't think the patches really changed much for him at all.
Literally telling him
not asking for him to be broken. I think his kit is way past broken. He's just not meta.
to work harder. And I was explaining how saying work harder doesn't make sense. And then the next thing was, I think it was literally Davi. Apex Davi was in here with someone, then hire more people. And I was explaining how you can't just hire more people and it's all of a sudden
You can't just say you can't just hire more people. That is insanely reductive.
gonna get better. Oh, I forgot. I also said call for them to be arrested. Forgot about that.
Full changes when you do make them.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like, goddamn.
Well, communicate with each other. Have you guys worked in a big company before? Have you guys like worked corporate? The bigger company is, the slower it moves. The harder it is to get anything done. So a lot of the times, the reason why they're probably working as great as they are is it's probably small teams that work themselves.
Yeah, I might cut it off in a couple minutes.
To cover for that, so they can push stuff out faster and then have a little less bureaucracy. Not voicing more, so less people making high-profile decisions. If that makes sense. But
This is Kyle at C1 main. I think most devs don't care about most of the heroes. I'd agree with you. Yeah, like I think it's pretty transparent. There are favorites. Maybe not in the sense of like, oh, they really like this hero, but they give other heroes more attention than a lot in the cast.
But then you're asking, if you every time you add a person though, you add a voice.
Check
You're
journal
saying
chat.
you have more people, they have the money. So it's like, well, no, because you're adding more voices, right? Like, and again, balance is subjective at the end of the day. They might just not be balancing for you. We don't know what the balance philosophy is. What is the balance philosophy? We don't know. But regardless, at the end of the day, though, I'm really confused how people think that if you take a season to focus on it, like everyone on the hero design team, on the art team, on the software engineering side, the not listening by the way at all, engine side, the security side, the cheating side, all comes together to do balance.
Not listening to what? He's just trying to flex rudimentary, like, oh shit, how many fucking potential teams could I name off the top of my head? Like, who said this? Who said, let's get the art team in? Let's get the art team in to work on balance. Guys, can we get that concept artist in here? I need to know what to do with Phoenix's fall off. Spread me.
This is legitimately clip farming. Like, it's actually just disgusting. This is just shameless clip farming. Like, what are they gonna do? They're already doing balance every season. He's listening for a chance to respond, 100%. Also, by the way, I'm calling it out.
What is this shameless clip farming shit, bro? You a clip factory? Aren't you John? I make clips.
I don't give a. What is this thing in the bottom left? Why has this been?
Oh
here?
my god. Okay, this bro. Fuck me. He needs a break. He needs a break. This is where I'm like, put the phone down. Stop. What are we doing?
The entire time. Are we supposed to be like Sigma Chads? Wait, why is this here? Why is that living here the entire time? What are we doing? We're only doing 3 heroes a year for the last 10 years. And they would just wait till the next year comes out, and then they would balance everything, and then they just change parts by like one number. And just to give you a newsflash, by the way, over there in Overwatch land, they're not happy about balance either. You're too old to get the memes? No, it's not that. I'm not gonna explain it to you. Pissed off, constantly, they just had a patch.
Guys, if you've ever used a frog emoji on Twitch, you are now alt-right. Gotcha, bro. You don't get to argue back, that's it. I said it. I made that. Reality can be whatever I want. Patrick Bateman? You're a write-off, I'm sorry. It's over for you. Flats, put the phone down, bro. Come on, man. I already was. What the fuck?
Right, I covered it. Well, I actually look at comments of
Cut them slack for 3 more months.
Oh, I'm pro-evil. Type 1 if you're pro-evil. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Because
why?
Balance is subjective. No one's gonna be happy at the end of the day. And realistically, as nice as I can say it, the people who will eat your game alive are the hardcore competitive players. They will eat you alive. They will
Fuck me. I have to go over this again. The people who will eat your game alive are the hardcore competitive players. Some of them are the most harsh. A lot of them are really burnt out. A lot of them are really passionate and have a lot of frustrations. A lot of them can be mean as fuck. However, it's also their job to figure the game out. So they will have a good quality of direct feedback they give on stuff like the meta, on a hero standing, and exactly like the basically the maximum output you can get from a hero, which is very like good. It's good quality of feedback. They don't give a fuck about lower ranks in my experience. They don't give a fuck about product design in my experience. So you take everything that you say with a grain of salt, but like that's what the purpose of that phrase is, with a grain of salt. You can get good shit from pros. It's not the complete picture at all. I'll also say that saying the most loyal players of your game will destroy it is certainly a choice. I'll say that Rivals isn't even necessarily good for casuals. Rivals is designed for tourists, and I do believe that the moment another game grabs the attention of a lot of Rivals players, they're gone. There is not loyalty baked into the entire business model of the game. The core gameplay is gathering rust. There are core things to Rivals' identity like team-ups that are on complete life support, and the entire experience of the game is the next update coming out. And if another game gets the attention of players that really are only getting stuff like that, then if someone's better at jingling keys, bro, the loyalty's not there. They're gone.
They don't care about the employees. They don't care about the people's lives that are working on the game. They only care about being catered to themselves. They don't care about other people playing the game.
So
Disagree with it. I beg you.
okay.
I beg you.
So should you allow it to be bad?
And realistically, as nice as I can say it, the people who will eat your game alive are the hardcore competitive players.
You guys think I responded pretty well?
They will eat you alive. They will cannibalize you. They don't care.
Do you read comics? Because if you don't, you are the tourist. I'm gonna let that one marinate.
They don't care about the employees. They don't care about the people's lives that are working on the game. They only care about being catered to themselves. They don't care about other people playing the game.
So
Disagree with it. I beg you.
okay.
I beg you.
So should you allow it to be bad at your job because you have a family?
Josh, thank you, bro. Shout out, Josh.
More strawmans! I should build a scarecrow over here, and we can argue with the scarecrow! Nothing from before the last 2 minutes on 2x speed! Nothing! At all! Strawman out of a tree!
That's certain jobs, yeah. Okay, non-government job, sorry. Guys, for anyone that works in chat,
Take a shot every time he says that.
Chat,
And this is the that got people riled up to like tweeting at me and making TikTok videos and tweeting bullshit at me all morning long, like, oh, you suck, you don't know anything about the game, you don't play the game, fatty, dumbass, ugly, like whatever. Like, dude, you literally incels. Like, I hate to say it, genuinely
Am I
incels.
wrong? No, you're Josh. Hello?
You got cooked up going on here. Like, what?
asking for balance equals.
And I gotta deal with that all morning because of this?
Slaving the.
Mod him right now.
Yeah,
Wait, one more time.
Anyone that works in chat, if you went to your chat, yeah, asking for balance equals enslaving the.
Genuinely, this is what's called straw manning. Genuinely.
When you engage in this behavior and you blow it up to the proportion that you did and someone takes it one step further, what the fuck is the complaint about, bro? Stop setting the bar in the floor and then wondering why people are fucking lying down trying to go under it.
This is what's called straw manning. Holy f.
No, we're asking for balance to do their fucking job, so we want them all to die. We want them to starve. We hate them as human beings. They should all be castrated and they should be enslaved immediately. What a fucking straw man. Like, holy sh.
Do that to everyone in chat. Do it to everybody in chat.
That's not what we were talking about.
Can we get Fence Sitter Flats back? Yeah, I know, because he's just tweaking. He's
They
tweaking.
should be arrested. When I was talking to people, I read the messages out loud. I was talking about them working harder. And I said they already probably are working hard. You can't ask them to work harder. That's what was said. You're not listening because you're on 2x speed, reading your chat or reading your other monitor.
Well, thank God. No, I don't think I've seen a single person ask them to work harder.
Shit. Like,
Where's
that is
Josh
actually-
at? On top.
He's saying, bro. No. We asked for balancing, now we don't even see Zeong. No, guys, like, in all seriousness, as much as I rage, as much as I say, like, fire Zeong and I hate Zeong and all this other shit, Zeong needs to be arrested and shot in Fortnite and, like, whatever kind of garbage I say, I don't actually want something bad to happen to the guy. Like, it is my...
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, like, first off, you might not be a large creator yet. You clearly said that you've been growing, which is, hey, good for you.
Like, this is the thing with the whole virtue signal positioning on, like, so much shit, bro. Like, you can just say, hey, man, it's probably not good to say that. But he can't fucking help himself by connecting his own ego with it. You might not understand because you're not a bigger creator yet. Okay, Flats, well, let me coach you on something. Could you credit me for those fucking videos of mine you reacted to and didn't link? Hello?
You don't understand what your influence does at that point. I know it's your viewers that were starting the shit with me this morning. I can tell where it came from. I figured it out. But how do you think that happens?
Just to be clear, I don't personally have a big issue with that. It's the grandstanding about how to fucking etiquette around making content. Get off the high horse.
Someone starts the fire.
You can't climb up on it and act like you've fucking always been there, bro.
It's you. Take some accountability for like 2 seconds.
In this 1 hour and 17 minutes we've been here, I have not seen an attempt to find common ground. When it's not like, oh yeah, he said something I've directly said. I haven't seen any attempt to like pass out anything that's being said, and most of it's just like extrapolated.
Like, genuinely.
But there's a point about that part regarding influence on others. Yes, this is correct. The problem I have is the fucking grandstanding about it. It's like, this is a massive thing, bro. Like, I see it, and you see it, I think probably the easiest #1 example is the political content creators. There is so much hand-wringing and, you know, this is not up to me. You're directly responsible for a lot of the behavior and the culture in your community, right? You cannot control what some crazy person is going to go and do, right? But what the fuck are we gonna do? Act like we can't put traffic lights on roads because there's always going to be a drunk driver? You know what I mean?
I just say these things. I don't actually want them to happen. Then stop saying them. It's not that hard.
Like, my mask of sanity is slipping because of the months of torture.
Mask of sanity? Is it on? Is it on the table?
I've endured a terrible balance. Like, sanity is something bad that happened to the guy. Like, it is my
You got a
mask
point.
of sanity
Yeah.
is slipping because of the months of torture I've endured of terrible balance.
So I'm straw manning because I said to people,
Bro, if I feel like if I say anything like this, I immediately chase that with a guys. That was absolutely fucking crazy, alright? Like, no. But I usually just say it about myself getting my brains blown out.
to people asking for the devs to work harder is like, because they already probably work a ton and have crunch hours. And you said slave labor camps, by the way. That was your next escalation. But let me hear that one more time.
Mask of sanity is slipping
When he pulls random shit out of midair like you were doing, what the fuck are we talking about? Flats? OW? Come on, man.
of the months of torture I've endured of terrible balance.
The months of torture you've endured by playing Marvel Rivals.
You are literally, John, I torture myself playing Marvel Rivals and Overwatch for content. That is fucking... That is a big thing you were talking about for time. Quite a while ago, bro.
You chained to this desk? Is the CIA got you captive?
Okay, look, I feel like we've got most of what's going on here. The rest is, like, it gets more and more into the weeds, and it just gets more personal attacky and catty. So I'm gonna scroll through it, alright? You do realize Flats talks from over 10 years of experience, he's not wrong. Bro, I'm not gonna do the, foreign dictator from the past example to excessively hyperbolize it because I feel like it's not going to be engaged with in a way that's helpful. But bro, I've been shitting for 10 plus years. I'm going to be real with you. Sometimes I'm constipated as fuck. I don't think it makes me an expert on shitting just for doing it.
This room. This is why I said at the beginning of the game, when you looked at, or the beginning of this video, when you looked at how many hours I streamed, the words you were looking for were, I've been playing a healthy amount of Marvel Rivals. Not all day, every day for 12 hours a day. What you were looking for was the word healthy amount.
It is
So
frustrating.
this is going for man, I must not know what cooking is no more.
Maybe like an hour or two a day, and I sit here and bitch about Malphite. Should we nerf Malphite? Like, what the f are we talking about? Everyone's just biased and so.
You know you learn ways better over time. Okay, I'll give my actual point on it. Guys, Flats is someone I've watched the career of very closely. He was a bit of an inspiration of mine, or someone I learned some lessons from, because I also consumed his content as I got into content creation, and I was in Overwatch at the time. Saw his come up, saw how he spoke about, you know, what he was doing. He's got a business degree. I know that he has a content manager. Retro is someone I, one of the first guys I ever followed on Twitter, I think. The strategy was interesting to me to see sort of what he was doing and just how much of the market he had, essentially. It was fascinating to me. Got a business degree. He's received an award for that Marvel Rivals category. He has a lot of channels that he's grown. Guys, Flats is an expert on growing a content business. What the fuck does he know about balancing a game? And I'm not saying he has to. It's the fucking grandstanding, bro. Play the video, little bro. I'm pulling up your mum and my sex tape right now. It's okay, it's a minute long. It's 1 minute.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't because I... was rapid. I couldn't get it up. Alright.
Yeah, I guess I just played so much that my opinion doesn't matter.
Shut the fuck up,
Flats,
bro.
Young, and Aaron Keller wouldn't last 5 minutes in COD NBA 2K immunity. Like, what the fuck is this video?
More slot, blah, 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 blah.
Straight up, there it goes. Dino isn't dominating. Dino's still strong, but he's not.
On
No.
his head and have variety and different answers, and not having double bans, so we actually get like different bans going and shit. then
Sure,
it's
double bans, yeah.
garbage.
Balance philosophy, like.
But no, balance. You're right, Space Jam. Balance is subjective, so we need another 8 seasons of Gene, Cyclops, Angela Gap. Yeah.
People asked for better balance and he started saying the devs work hard. Like, what's the relevance exactly?
Gene, Cyclops, Angela.
That was so
yeah.
bad. First time here? First time around?
Wasn't Angela dog shit a season ago?
Yes, true. This is just like, bro, he's checked out. But also they go against, like, fucking Angela was really dominant pro player for a bit. And it's like, oh, fuck, she's back again, bro. But like you could just swap this out for fucking Phoenix Hella. I still use Hella as an example, even though her real estate has been eaten up by newer hit scan heroes. But like, it's not by virtue of Hella getting nerfed. They replaced someone in the fucking hit scan category with someone who does their exact job better. Oh wow, the pain point's gone, guys. Yeah, fucking Hella Phoenix, great example. There you go.
The #1 Angela. I have this guy in my back pocket. He's apparently the craziest Angela we've ever seen. He does
Relevance
no
is
social
people calling for devs to be fired and killed, bro. Yeah, but are we just calling on like the craziest person we've seen on Twitter? Because that's not the framing of a conversation you want to have. That's not reality, bro.
Yeah, we had him track him down. Retro had to find him and friend request him.
Now, I will say, I've seen too much of the calling for X person to be fired, which I think is fine to respond to. But if you frame it as the entire conversation that's being had and then we move on, like, what are we doing here, bro? This is just like, you may as well just be, your stream is responding to your For You page.
And we're like, we'd love to get a rank 1 Angela VOD from you. And he refused to give us one last season because how bad Angela was. And you're going to sit here and say another season of Angela, Cyclops, and Jean? Cyclops just came out. If it's so easy to say that these characters are so busted all the time.
Okay, yeah. Moving on.
Kat and Dee Dee were horrible in season 7.5. Can you show me? Can you grab me that? Really sad if we blew. Can you link me? By knee-jerking in another direction, that's probably not going to work. The devs listen to support players complaining it's our turn now. It's time to lock in. Daredevil is horrible, unplayable. Spider-Man's terrible, god-awful. Black Cat is D-tier. Dog piss, trash, terrible. I can't tell if this is like half. This is probably big.
This is definitely a psyop sarcastic post. Okay.
He's just trying to like influence it. But like this was like they were still extremely strong at this point.
They were doing shit like this to try and get their heroes buffed is a fucking joke. I remember
This is
that shit.
Only is not. You play the game 10 hours a day and you self-admitted that you've been giving yourself torture playing the game.
Okay,
Or like, yeah, no,
fuck, he's still going on about it, bro. It's the thing is that he's harping on and on about stuff that I see from him consistently. It's like he goes on and on about stuff for fucking hours about shit that he does. I don't get it, bro.
Right. But yeah, you still haven't let that go because it's one of your only good strawman arguments you have in your bag.
Dino meta. Yep. People were asking me why are you playing Penny in Dino meta.
10 years. I've been a streamer for it for 7 years. I was one of the largest Overwatch creators.
Oh, okay. This was the clip I was looking for towards the end. The rest, bro, it's kind of a waste, man. Light comes into his chat. Super antagonistic, standoffish, and he's kind of just slinging insults at him. It was kind of a shame. No, I'm not saying bro has been fucking sane. But, like... I guess this is where we're at, guys. This is our big balance discussion. We made it.
And Dino go, are you stupid? You're a pro player. How do you not know that? Why are you acting like that?
So maybe we...
Yeah, he's being sarcastic, but it's like, so you agree. So, like, why is your only input here is just sarcasm? You have no other input. You just sit there.
time our flank for when we know where the Daredevil is and go to the opposite side of the map.
Okay, this is... Yeah, it's about here.
Or we just wait for him to engage and then flank. And this is why you can't take the opinions of people and, like, say they matter.
Guys, do you want my armchair psychologist BS? I've also been doing this for a long time, but Jesus Christ, am I a small fish? But you know, a lot of the decision making, a lot of the shit you have to put up with, you know, your world is as big as your world is. And you know, whether you got 100,000 subs or like 10,000 or 1,000, you know, that's your whole world in that dimension. And in seeing like throughout, like as his career developed, flats generally check out from the entire balance discussion as 5v5, 6v6, and the whole tank problem was happening in Overwatch 2, and developing, seeing him in real time develop more and more frustrations with no one agreeing on anything, and then sort of filtering things through that lens and having that as the conclusion without anything deeper, to me was a way to sort of insulate himself from stuff that I don't know if he was able to have a healthy relationship with so much dissenting opinion, and I don't know if he learned a deeper lesson on it in that time. Also because what he's doing in his content business is this omnipresence and having the appearance of being an authority and stuff, but he's done that by making stuff quickly and fast. And to me, this is kind of emblematic of this entire fucking situation, bro, is that he's been held to task on points he makes and required to do more than just vibe them out in a way that's kind of shallow. And I don't think he ever learned that, you know, if you're constantly, everything you said is constantly being scrutinized and you're always being told you're wrong, maybe you kind of need some core underlying robust theory to work from when you're making confident statements like this. And I don't know if he ever took that lesson away from getting bombarded with fucking comments every time you say something that might be a little bit wrong. Like,
I hope Quad catches that one. Someone should let Quad know about this. Honestly, dude, that's crazy.
The same way, you know?
There's a reason why people fear that guy to pop up on their For You page. Have fun.
People are making up fake drama to get the Kingsman treatment. I'll do you one better. The Kingsman fucking thing was completely manufactured to get the Kingsman treatment in the first place.
So just because you have an opinion doesn't mean it's correct. Myself included, but I'm likely more correct because I play this game for a living and I'm contracted.
Oh, you're contracted.
Why do people complain about balancing a game made for casuals? Why do people complain about toilet paper in a fucking industry made for asses? Like, I don't...
Oh, you're contracted. I apologize.
You self-censoring? It's a thing I was able to turn on because I kept getting restricted every time I swore, and apparently it's working, so...
Sir, I apologize. You're contracted. You drive yourself mentally insane by...
This is after little broing him about the size of his own platform, but okay. This is the clip, guys. This is the clip for me. This, like, fuck me.
Honestly, dude, that's crazy.
The same way, you know?
There's a reason why people fear that guy to pop up on their For You page. Have fun.
So just because you have an opinion doesn't mean it's correct. Myself included, but I'm likely more correct because I play this game for a living and I'm contracted.
He has more organized and better articulated insights on a lot of his experience with the game, and also it's his job to solve the game. Like, he's perfectly good as a fucking voice on the pro experience of the game, right? Again, like the example of the bronze player, it's like, I would say a lot more feedback from lower ranked players are shots in the dark, but again, dev's job to sort through that, but can often be a lot more difficult to determine what the actual problem is. You know, if someone's really frustrated with this hero, they counterpick that hero starts playing safer because they counterpick them. They get really frustrated because they're not able to kill that hero, even though they're stopping them playing, they're just not dying. And then when that hero ults in with their supports, and this player was obsessed with that hero and shutting them down when they were already getting the value and doing the perfectly right thing, they die to that hero's ult and their supports and their team walking in, and they say that hero's broken. And they go to the devs and say, Mr. Fantastic needs to be nerfed. And they were shitting on him the whole time. And they got in their head about it, and they didn't know where the line was of exactly what they were supposed to be doing. And that's the feedback they give.
Oh, you're contracted. Oh, you're contracted. I apologize.
Fuck me.
Sir, I apologize. You're contracted. You drive yourself mentally insane by playing 10 hours a day. Let's listen to the crazy people. That goes well. You know what? We want to go ego for ego. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been a streamer for it for 7 years. I was one of the largest Overwatch creators the entire time. I transferred into this game, and I've retained my audience. And if you're asking for my resume, buddy, I got it right here if you need a little reminder. So, this game, and I've retained my audience. And if you're asking for my resume, buddy.
This is so much better on 1x. I'm so sorry. The king. Care the king. What is a king without his kingdom? Care the king. I feel like the room just got brighter. Look at the shine coming off that thing, bro. Holy fuck. Aura. 1x speed. Let's do it. All of you commit this to memory. It's not often you get to see something so fucking magnificent.
Correct.
Doesn't mean it's correct. Myself included, but I'm likely more correct because I play this game for a living and I'm contracted.
Oh, you're contracted. Oh, you're
What's akin to a
contracted.
gamer?
I apologize, sir. I apologize. You're contracted and you drive yourself mentally insane by playing 10 hours a day. Let's listen to the crazy people. That goes well. You know what? We want to go ego for ego. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been a streamer for it for 7 years. I was one of the largest Overwatch creators the entire time. I transferred into this game and I've retained my audience. And if you're asking for my resume, buddy, I got it right here if you need a little reminder. So let's just say, you know, contract for contract, I could be signed to any org if I wanted to take the pay cut for it, for being a creator. The reason is no org has the money to sign any large rivals creators. They don't have it because it just doesn't make the kind of money. So if I wanted to be signed and contracted, I could do it by the end of the day.
So it's like,
I'm pregnant. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Holy shit, bro. That was... Whew. Ji-Young's doing his job. He sounds like me claiming I can get out of silver in Overwatch. Hi, Jess. So, bro, my depression is cured. This fixed my hernia, bro. Point blue right over y'all heads. No way. I think we're getting the point exactly, bro. I'm in fucking awe. What? Put some respect on his name right now. Kiss the ring. Holy shit. The point went over y'all heads. I'll never be as cool as him. What's to get? People don't respect anyone anymore, man. It's fucking unreal.
some people's
Want to talk
opinions have
ego.
more weights than others, as condescending as that sounds. Like, even Flats, I would take his opinion, or Quad King's opinion, over like a Plat player's.
Ooh, I feel like everyone watching at that point would be like, fuck, man, what a way to shoot himself in the foot right after he gets thrown a bone, bro. Sorry, right before he gets, like, fuck. Woo! Are you seriously on light side on all of this? Let me be very clear. I appreciate his perspective as a piece in the puzzle of the perspective of all the ranks, right? I completely disagree with what he says about lower rank players. I think it's reductive and unhelpful, but I don't think he's having that conversation. Like, he's saying his perspective, and you know exactly what you're getting from this guy. It's like, yep, I consider him as, like, let's say there's 100 points on the chart. He's one of them. You know, if I'm considering, you know, how are people feeling about the game right now? king to a chicken. That's right. I can't believe Gallus is literally light and wants BP to be meta. True.
Like, you know, it's pretty simple. If I could transfer
BP, who I had like a content arc of essentially shitting on the design of non-stop and it being bad for the game.
I could transfer it over other games. Like,
Not for light, but against flats. I am for light on the dimension of the fact that flats is punching down so excessively hard in a way that I find very strange. But, you know, it's not like some little guy, like, he's a big boy. He'll be fine. You know, really what I care about is that I find the way Bro with such a big platform is approaching a discussion about balance so fucking insanely useless, and all this does is run interference. All my content's about balance and design, bro. He's come over here and he's just pissed on the floor.
if I want to go learn what the best character in PAX is, I'm gonna go talk to Imperial Hall.
Thank you,
I'm
Dante.
gonna ask him like, what's good. I'm not gonna go ask some random gold ranks player, bro. If they tell me Caustic's good, and then Imperial Hall tells me Caustic is dog shit, I'm not gonna bother trying to pick Caustic unless I think the character's fun. But I'm not gonna sit there and think it's good, right? Like,
That was not a fun meta for anyone that played anything else.
Okay. There's one more thing I want to find. Where is the Malga part, guys? Because the rest
like
of this is just like both of them are tired. It's catty insults.
Dive is one of the hardest things for new players, especially like people that
This is 100% true. I've talked about this a lot. Yep, this is true. I agree with him on this.
are more casual to deal with. It genuinely is.
Dive's genuinely like it's very unhealthy for onboarding for the game, and it's like it's super hard for them to deal with how Dive sits in the game, because like I said, the whole product goal of the game is like bringing tourists back. Like the experience of Rivals is the first couple days of the season. Get back in here, see new hero, buy stuff, come back next season. That's really where all the effort is. And I think Dive really, really fucking hijacks that, and a lot of it's hard to deal with in terms of like designing and making changes. You know, if the issue for casuals is that Spider-Man is pretty much omnipresent, way too fast, and it feels like he's such an attention drain that it breaks the game. What do you do with that? How do you address this without reworking Spidey? I don't know, bro. You can try. Like, there's a conversation that needs to be had though.
across both Hero Shooters of Overwatch and Rivals.
Toady, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, bro. I really appreciate it.
Always has been a hot topic. That's not
New video title for this video. I labeled this stream on YouTube REACTSLOP ENDGAME.
new. We're 10 years in now, brother. Second off, the reason why they don't want to deal with it is
But is in a good spot? Not what I was talking about though.
they feel like they don't see it. They're very used to, I shoot my tank with heal, I help team.
Movement's the biggest reason balance is complicated in this game. That might not actually be far from, like, that might not be far off the mark. Like, the original like sin was Panther, and it was like essentially it's just he dashes. That's it. The actual like a lot of the core problem with what the hypermobile divers do to onboarding and making newer players feel like the game just isn't working is the intention requirement, but also the disconnect that happens, right? When a hero like Panther starts destroying low rank players, they are ripped from the really intuitive, I'm farming dopamine hit markers on main, into the super dry, I need to stop them staging and constantly be looking for them, in a way that's like, you're immediately ripped into it. And it feels like, for a bronze player, you now have to have diamond game sense, and it doesn't just happen, it feels like something's not right, and it feels like complete bullshit. Like, that's kind of the experience there. Like,
When I press
you get ripped out of micro to like pure macro in a way that they're not eased into it at all. There's no flow state there. It's frustrating as fuck.
my Q and everybody survives, right? That's what they think of. They think of, I place healer / support, I heal my team, and I win the game.
Leaving the VOD on
Against
YouTube,
dive
yes.
a lot of times, you have to fight the diver because people don't peel in low elo. They don't. So you have to 1v1 them with your own abilities. And you can win. That's how good support players climb.
This is almost like generally true, I think, across most ranks, to be honest. Like,
but they're not used to that. They're not used to playing DPS support.
At some point, you're
They're
going to
used
have to fight a diver on whatever you're playing. Like, it's going to happen.
playing healing, and so they're basically
Is that the
sitting
nature
there
of dive, burst kills, and mobility? Yes, it's also the nature of the problem it creates. Like, what do we... Okay.
begging for heals, and they think that they can't do anything to fight back, or they don't really have the reactions to fight back, especially with the BP double dash thing. Remember that old one before? That old clip that went viral? Because their idea of the game is different. They're used to everyone standing in the lane and shooting each other and pushing each other back and forth.
Yep.
But when you get higher rank, you think of the map as a 3D environment, and you take flanks and you come in from the side, you wait for the engage to happen, and then they're free eats. That's why you climb. That's why you're a better player.
That's why the casual players don't last long. That's an issue. Not listening to them is bad for business. Exactly. And anyone who says it's a skill issue, that's cute and everything, right? But if you lose customers because of a skill issue, maybe the skill issue needs to be scrutinized in your fucking design pipeline, bro.
Player.
You need more cams on screen? Everyone send me screenshots of your face. I need to put them on.
That's also where
You still haven't
Dive
done it.
has that come in. You could do the same thing on Hella. You could play the flank hit scan and just kill their backline every time they're not looking, right? But the thing with Dive, though, is they're getting engaged on. And it's different than you just got your head clicked twice and you died. You're like, oh, I died to that. You're watching someone run you down, punch you in the...
Skill issues is grandstanding. Like, it's... often also, it's like skill issue is kind of something that says, like, if you in a nebulous way get better, you will stop having this specific problem, which a lot of the time is true. But it's an oversimplification even in the skill required, right? Because if it's a knowledge check and you don't have the knowledge for it and you always die to it, like, okay. Is this a knowledge check? Or like a stat check? Kind of. You know, what happens when a
They didn't
bronze
believe in
panther
us.
gets...
God did!
Fucking Jesus. Gets the thing picked against him, bro. Well, that's just it. He can't play his hero anymore. That's just it. That's just it. He's not learning anything. That's the skill issue, right? His skill issue. It's not a skill issue, bro. It's a fucking design problem.
Head, like, run you over, like, hit you with a bunch of abilities where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. That's why they don't like playing against it, because they're not used to it. You can legitimately call it skill issue.
Bigger numbers told to be better through perception and MVP. Yes. Also just the visual and sound design. Honestly, hit markers feel fun to get. Also, there's the actual in-game reward you're building, like building ult for doing damage, like in tandem with the whole like responsiveness of doing damage. Like, it gives you the psychological fucking release, bro.
But you don't address the problem. You don't address, like, how could you fix that? How could you make them better? You just immediately jump to hit scan dominates you. They're handless, so they suck and their opinions don't matter, blah, blah.
Who would rather get hit 2-tap from 50 meters than dive? Fucking, I don't think anyone wants to. The thing is, as well, like, if we're talking about a bronze player getting destroyed by dive in this way, they're also not getting 2-tap headshotted ever. Right. But that means we're probably also open to doing something about 2-tap headshots when it starts happening in, like, Diamond. Because if you nerf it there, is it going to affect bronze that much? Probably fucking not. It's a oversimplification. There's other stuff you could do, but...
Why? It's like genuinely so out of touch. It sucks. Like, this really sucks.
Get to exist. Why, in my superhero shooter, is there a melee character? Why can't this game be like Counter-Strike, where we just sit main and shoot our guns? It's not fair. Like, whole play Valorant or Apex or Overwatch.
Valorant, Apex, I'm sorry, Valorant's, yes.
He doesn't have to respond to everything, neither do I, but this round here, honestly valid, 100%. Hit scan bias from the devs in this game is pretty insane. The hit scan angle from hit scan players in this game, like, he's probably referring in his head to fucking some subgroup of fucking hit scan players that are like, oh my god, oh, this dive character's finally good, I can't play the game. Like, welcome to our world. Yeah, I get it. But hit scan in this game, relative to fucking anything else that requires aim, is super forgiving, and all the hit scan heroes have forgiving kits. There's so much mistake erasure in their abilities and fixing positioning ultimates being super forgiving or an insta-win button, some of the most powerful ults in the game. You know, bigger hitboxes, fast fire rate, no recoil, low reload speed. Like, all of this shit, man. Like, oh, also you get to right-hand corner peek without being seen. Like, what are we talking about? You're not playing CS.
You can get one tap.
And there's grandstanding in the community from his cans, but, you know, it's besides the point.
What is this strong?
Okay, we found it. It's the Malga clip. Last thing, guys.
You have two 50-50s rolling. One, are you better than their Daredevil? Slash, is your other support working with you to fight him?
That's got a Lord Business
right,
icon.
Like 50-50 is like, oh, you might have a team that actually like kind of helps, you know, whether that's the other support, someone else peels, whatever it is. And it's like, do you want to roll that 50-50 every game? Probably not. So you just rather just ban.
August tried to say Malga takes less skill than Doom. Yeah, that's a perfect example, bro. It's like Malga to Doom.
What? What is this straw man?
I don't know what the context of this is exactly, because I don't think... I think there's something else that's being said here. The Flats misses. Even if this is something, bro.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, bro. It's like Malga to Doom.
What? What is this straw manning? Dude, we could have built a cornfield full of them at this point. Are you f***ing nuts? Have you lost your goddamn mind? Me! You're saying me, of all people, is saying Malga is skillful? You know nothing. You know less than nothing. Your family lineage knows nothing. You guys were still crawling around the ground when I was being a Malga hater. I was the king of the Malga hates. I am the one that spawned every bit of bullshit to that character. And you agree that I think he's more skillful than Doomfist? I don't care. You could have put anything in the world. I think that eating ice cream with a spoon is more skillful than playing Malga. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about this community. You might be a pro player, but you're not that good at balance. You're not that good at everything else. My brother in Christ, holy shit. This whole video has been dog shit. That's the pinnacle. That's genuinely the pinnacle. You started this video out with, oh, I don't listen to
the words right out of my mouth.
Maybe you should start.
Fist, you know, like.
Thank you, my balance goat. Mister, you're not that good at balance is a thing, I think. All right. Nom.
Guys, skillful.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking
50-50.
Yeah.
50-50 every
Why
game.
is he
bro. It's like
tweaking
Malga-
so goddamn hard? Ooh, I'm getting good at balance right now. Me. There's a misunderstanding here. Yeah. Wait till Mr. Understanding hears about what bro just said, bro. Something strange to me is the constant callbacks to how he believes he should be known for X or Y. And again, it's like the whole content business positioning himself as an authority and getting the content out there and being omnipresent. And I feel like that is when he's acting like this, when it's that point he's made is called into question, is really speaking to me like, bro. This is the problem with the appearance of having it and not having it. What the fuck are you like, why is he angry about what the community's distaste for Malga came from him? We don't have our own thoughts. We have Flats' brain. And it's just living in our bodies. Like, I don't know, man. I just... I feel like being an authority on a topic he's made content about being called into question is making him actively tweak on camera, and to me that doesn't speak to intellectual honesty. I don't know, bro.
It's of bullshit to that character, and you agree that I think he's more skillful than Doomfist? I don't care. You could have put anything in the world. I think that.
I think you think.
Oh shit.
Malga's more skillful than staying calm. Agree or disagree?
Eating. I think that it's more.
Wait, I need the soundbite. I need to scream, agree, disagree. Where is it?
It's been. Well, now you know, like, there's too much. It's like, I don't want to. You with O and just if everyone. You actually, you anyone.
Where's agree, disagree? Come on.
I a lot of think it out there and said Alga is more genuine. The whole thing out.
One versus the
Why are you hating? If you saw the full video, he's speaking the truth, though. Well, this is my second time. So I saw the full video and subjected myself to that at the gym. That was great. Fun workout. And the one before that, layer 2, and layer 1, the first video. So, oh, what? Love 'em or hate 'em, me do be spittin'? Like, what is this? Like, oh yeah, Andrew Tate said water is wet once. Like, fucking we can scrutinize fucking unsavory behavior. It's okay, guys. No one's gonna die. We're okay.
So what's the problem?
You couldn't.
Everyone's gonna be fine. Flats will wake up tomorrow. He's good. He has a fucking size of a platform to not feel like this about any of this. And he'll be fine, but, you know, whatever. He'll be fine. Light's fucking a big boy. He'll be fine.
Wouldn't understand how to balance this game.
I have to watch my own VOD. I think I react to this tomorrow. Like this right now.
Midnight warning, you need a shower and sleep. These two unfortunately appear to be hydrophobic, and vampires to grass.
On guard.
Shouldn't be players. You have like a little, also not the majority, and then the conversation. Oh, while I was talking.
And I have to flex to.
Anyway. Guys, that's the majority of it. You've seen it all. If you want to see the rest, Flats uploaded the most recent layer of it a day ago. The most delusional self-report in Rivals history. Probably not the best title choice for probably the most unhinged I've seen him act. But form your own opinion. Balance is a complicated topic, and I think it's so reductive for this to be how we're discussing it. I think Flats has a very preliminary, shallow framing of it. Light is for the pro players. That's what you get out of him. And I think that's how you should compartmentalize what he says. I think his feedback on the game is good in that sense. I think Flats does way too much trying to please everyone possible that he could, and try to toe the line of just essentially getting the free virtue points of saying casual is good without unpacking really a whole lot on it. There's absolutely stuff he says that I agree with, but it's also stuff that's pretty obvious or in general. Same with Light. Yeah, and I think to be honest, like this is like step one in any fucking actual conversation about this topic, bro. It's lies not for pro players. You'll see pro players disagree. Yeah, sure. I'm not saying he's all pro players though. Like, absolutely, his perspective is like part of what I'd take into consideration. But you know, like, fucking, here's an easy like name drop. I think someone like, you know, if you're someone who goes out and watches tier lists or whatever, I think Team Captain is also very honest as like a, like he just, I don't think he sugarcoats shit. He's a very calm dude. He's got a very like he's very easygoing kind of guy. So if you don't like people who get fucking angry, he's a good one. You know, similarly, you know, high performing player. You know, great watch. I'd recommend him. More general educational. Shout out Death and Gaming. Probably one of the most mature voices in the space. He's great. Yeah. You know, I was getting to the tail end of the video. I saw Forks's react, and the intro was just like, man, I've had too much of people yelling at each other. So maybe I'll look at Forks's maybe next week if people want me to. But fuck, there was another layer of like, great, let's get a third party in, fucking hyperbolizing as well. Like in the intro, I was like, yeah, no, I've hit my limit today. Like, no. Death of Gaming doesn't say Ji Young should get fired, enough for me, TBH. To each their own. Thank you, Pog. I think most creators have a bias, but if you know it, it's fine. IMO. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what, you know, disappoints me a bit about Flats, is because really especially like, look, it's kind of my area as well, or space or whatever, you know, discussions about the design and balance of the game. There's absolutely zero fucking rigor or attempts at intellectual honesty. It's like, look, man, you go into a conversation about shit like this in a way that's actually meaningful instead of, let's REACTSLOP. What do I not know? It's okay that I don't fucking know something. Let's go from there, you know? But I think probably the best we're going to get is egos butting heads until someone explodes. So, all right. Yeah, I agree with that, Cinnamon. Yeah. Changing one from high to low is just terrible design. Yeah. This is a lot of ad hominems when his opinion is challenged. That's the thing. Like, it's just, like, to be honest, man, like, my bias is that I personally don't give a fuck about negative shit that Light says. I don't think he should say, like, it, as in, and when I say that, I mean it personally. It doesn't affect me. Like, I don't find it, like, turns me off his content or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, what does he think about fucking, this current patch? Find it interesting, whatever. And, you know, move on. I 100% understand if people find him grating. Or, like, don't like him or whatever. Like, that's just the thing, bro. It's like, not for you, whatever. I don't think people should be saying someone should get fired. But I think you can question the quality of their work all the fucking time, bro. Because what are we, guys? We are consumers of a product. That's it. Yeah. And, you know, from Flats, the constant, like, the personal attacking, a lot of grandstanding, a lot of hypocrisy on stuff that was on the periphery or not even related, or, oh, buddy, here's how you should approach React content. Okay, mister, you won't credit me for videos you react to. Off the pedestal. All right. Yeah. I think just the space deserves better. So, yeah. Light and Forks should have a debate on stream. I believe they did. That he invented Malga. True. True. The no credit is poor form but common. Yeah, the thing is, I don't particularly, like, personally, don't really have a big issue with it. But if I see that creator out grandstanding about how to approach etiquette in React content, I'm kind of like, yeah, bro. All right. It's like that. Heavy is the head that wears the crown for the king of REACTSLOP etiquette. All right, guys. TikTok fam, thank you for the love tonight. I'm going to say goodnight now. It's been a long one. I'll be back Monday for a much chiller time, and I might actually get to play the fucking game. So that'd be cool. Do you play Dive? No. Could be talking to someone in chat, though. Thank you, TikTok guys. Take care. Have a good weekend. I'm Gallus. I make content talking about the design and balance of this game. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays about 5:30 p.m. Right now, it is 12:11 a.m. Friday night, just past midnight. That's the time for me, just in case time zones are weird. Good night, TikTok. Take care, guys. Thanks for stopping by. YouTube, I'm doing the same to you. I'm sending you off. Fun fact, when I end the stream, you actually die in real life. So say your goodbyes.
I can only hope.
Did you know when I turn the camera off, I'm stuck here frozen until I turn it back on? For like 2 days. I can't move. Oh, what did I just do? Promise? I promise. YouTube, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope I was clear enough. I don't mean to be wishy-washy about any of this shit. If I was, I know I can be. But holy shit, there is so much to take into account. And also, I feel like a lot of people will pretend that they just have their hard and fast, this is how I feel about everything. But like, holy fuck, bro. It's 2.5 hours of shit in a video and everyone's ranting. Like, sometimes you feel it out a little bit, but I feel like I did a fairly balanced job. Nobody touched the MTG deck while I'm away. No one was going to, bro.
I literally would rather like do anything else.
Appreciate the nuance and calm. Thank you. Don't mistake my fatigue for being calm. I'll make sure to be more well-rested to be petty later. I'm taking a shit now? My goat! You're modded. I'm on the toilet. Thanks, Ash Bankston. Is that your full legal name? Fuck me. Have a shit. Waiting patiently, little bee. Hey. She's just a ball. Meow. I'll just catch the very end of stream. Big boopies, yes. I didn't change time zone to not Australia. It's past midnight now, so due to my sort of goal of 9:30 to 10 p.m.-ish fit end time, I'm probably gonna execute myself. In Fortnite? I can't wait to go eat my yogurt. YouTube, thank you as always. I've been Gallus. For Gallus. Take care now, YouTube. Have a good weekend. Thank you for all the passion on this topic. I appreciate it. I feel like the people want streamers to be very one or two dimensional with their reactions when they're human. I just got baited. I can't believe this rage bait you just sent me. It's the entire online environment. Every algorithm incentivizes that. Every creator is incentivized to be that way. Like, it is fucking completely engineered false reality, and I'm subject to it and guilty of it as well. Anyway, good night, YouTube. Bye.